Yes, sir.
हाँ, आराम रहा, जल्दी इस बात की है, आराम से.
Yes, sir.
So, Rashmi, so why do you want to become a judge? What are your aims in life?
Ma'am, एक मिनट.
हाँ, आराम से.
मैम देयर इज सम इशू, मैं लीव करके फिर से छोड़ आती हूँ.
Yes, ठीक है, ठीक है.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Rashmi.
Yes, ma'am.
What qualities do you see in yourself that you would become a good judge, that would make you a good judge?
Ma'am, I am partial and I am honest and I am hardworking. So that, and I think that I am eligible for becoming a judge.
बोला?
आपने पहले क्या बोला? I am what?
I am impartial.
अच्छा, impartial.
Yes, ma'am.
And you have always wanted to be a judge?
Yes, ma'am. I always wanted to be that. This is my first priority.
So who has, what should I say, been the main person who has made you think of becoming a judge? Who has inspired you?
Ma'am, my father is a judicial officer and I have seen him from my childhood. So that's why I wanted to be a judge and I have also an interest for this job.
So how many brothers, sisters are you?
Ma'am, one brother and two sisters.
So are they younger than you?
No, ma'am, I am younger.
What do they do?
Ma'am, my brother is also preparing for PCSJ and my sister is preparing for B.Ed exam and CTET.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Hello, best wishes to you. Acha, tell me,
Thank you.
know what is the collegium system and what is the why has it been in the news for the last few years?
Yes, ma'am. The collegium system relates to the appointment and transfer of the judges. By the in collegium system, there is the CGI of India and two senior most judges, and they appoint and they will make a list and transfer the judges from one court to another court.
And so what happened? Why has it been talked about so much?
Ma'am, earlier in 2016, it was an issue because the parliament appointed a commission, National Judicial Appointment Commission, for the appointment of judges. But the court did not agree on this point, and court said that the judges to be, ma'am, Supreme Court. Supreme Court said that judges is to be appointed by the collegium system, which was earlier prevent in the process.
So right now, which is the system which is in practice?
Ma'am, collegium system in which the CGI and two senior most lists the candidates for appointment.
What do you think were the features that you think were in favor of the collegium system, and what was it that is being criticized? That why did the parliament think it needed to be changed? Give me the pros and cons according to you.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I think collegium system is better because the judges is acquainted with the judges who is the senior and who has the capability to be appointed as a CGI and as the senior most judge. Then that's why, ma'am, I think the collegium system is better. And ma'am, the parliament, I think parliament also has a power, but he is not properly acquainted with the system of judiciary, and so that's why he cannot do that proper in his way.
Okay, so you don't think this will lead or it has led to favoring the favorites? In the sense, you heard of the nepotism debate?
Yes,
This is a
ma'am.
small clique of people selecting from the same clique of people. Why did the act come about? They've struck down the Supreme Court struck down the act.
Yes, ma'am. Supreme Court says that there is the separation of power in India, as the Article 50 provides, and the judiciary is independent. There is the procedure for the removal of a judiciary, the judges of the High Court and the Supreme Court under Article 124. So they exercise the power independently and separately. So, ma'am, it is not good. It is not the criteria of the parliament to appoint the judges, ma'am. It is my opinion.
Okay. Okay. Now
Yes,
tell
ma'am.
me, what do you think about the new bill that has been introduced, bringing about changes in the appointment of the election commissioners of India?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, earlier the Supreme Court said that there should be a committee which consists of CGI and a leader of opposition and the Prime Minister, and they will appoint the Chief Election Commissioner and Election Commissioner. But ma'am, nowadays the Parliament passed a bill in which there is the Selection Committee who will appoint the members of CEC and EC. And in this committee, there is the Prime Minister and a leader of opposition and a member of a council of minister, ma'am. So, ma'am, it is, and the issue is that the parliament has ignored the order of the Supreme Court. So, ma'am, in my opinion, it is that the parliament has the power to amend and to provide a law for the appointment of the CEC and the election commissioner, because it is also provided under Article 324, that is, Parliament can make a law on this matter. Yes, ma'am.
Parliament had also made a law regarding selection or appointment of judges that was struck down by the Honorable Supreme Court. So, what do you think in this? What has happened? The opposite, huh? The Parliament has not paid heed to what the Supreme Court has advised. So, where are we headed? I mean, where is our separation of powers going? Is it healthy?
Ma'am, there is independence of judiciary, ma'am. So I think Parliament is to work within their sphere, and judiciary have to work within their sphere.
Okay, so now tell me, what do you think about the abolition of the triple talaq? Should it have been done?
Yes, ma'am.
Should it have been done? And what is its effect?
Yes, ma'am. It is a good decision of the court, because the triple talaq is the arbitrary and unreasonable, and it also violates the rights of the women. And now it is it is criminalized, and if because it is arbitrary, because the husband has an arbitrary power to divorce his wife anytime. So, ma'am, it is the violation of a human right also.
So after it has been abolished, what effect has it had on society?
Ma'am, there are some people who think that it is a good decision, but there is also the opinion of people that this is the Mohammedan law, in which why the court is interfering in it. So ma'am, our Muslims also, some Muslims agree on it and some has a different opinion on it.
They may agree or not. As a judge, you will have to actually follow it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Some parties come before you. What will you do? You will have to follow the law.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not saying that. Okay, chalo, it doesn't matter. Tell me something about were you there yesterday when the discussion was going on regarding the handbook that has been taken out by published by the Honorable Supreme Court on gender stereotypes?
Yes, ma'am, I know about it, but ma'am, I was absent yesterday. I know about it.
So I'll ask you. They have said that this is the power for transformation.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's why they have taken out these guidelines for the entire judicial system. It's not just for judges, it's also for the advocates and everybody included. So do you think this is part and parcel of what the judiciary should do? Isn't it trying to bring about change in society? By if the Honorable Supreme Court takes out a guideline in which it says these words are not complementary, maybe. So isn't it trying to change the mindset of the people? Is it is it advisable in today's world? Give me your views on that.
Yes, ma'am. The Supreme Court issued a handbook on combating the sexual harassment. Ma'am, there are some words which the court says that it should be not used in a regular circumstances or in a regular cases. And judges and advocates are also they are prohibited to use these words in their judgment and their petitions. Ma'am, these words are prostitute and adultery and bastard, and these words should not be used because it is somehow indicates the character of a person and which is derogatory to them. And nowadays the society, if we indicate them by such word, such name, then the society will also look them as those words, because and this is derogatory. And ma'am, the decision of the Supreme Court in my opinion is all right, because there is a need to change because time as per the time the laws should also be changed.
Good. You're looking very nice. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
Do well. And
Thank you.
who's made you? Has anybody helped you wear the sari?
मैम आज मैंने अपने से पहना है, ऐसे फिर दीदी पहनाएंगी.
बहुत अच्छा पहना है, बहुत अच्छे से पहना है.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Virendra, I think somebody else can take over.
Yeah. Sure.
सर जी प्रणाम सर. प्रणाम मैम.
बेटा गुड इवनिंग सर.
गुड इवनिंग, वेरी गुड इवनिंग. आपने बताया, you just told us that you as well as your younger sibling is also preparing for PCSJ.
Sir, my elder sibling, my brother.
Elder sibling, all right. I misheard it. Elder sibling, okay. So, give your fair opinion. If there were to be only one seat in PCSJ, who do you recommend impartially, you or your elder brother, and why?
Sir, I shift myself in that place because I think I am eligible for it and I can do better in that sphere.
And what would be the thought behind it? How would you think that?
Because sir, I consider myself eligible for it.
But then that attribute of impartiality goes for a toss, no? You have to tell us objective parameters on the basis of which you rate yourself more eligible than your brother. So think about it and tell us, why did you arrive at this conclusion?
Sir, I am hardworking and I am honest and I am impartial, and sir, I think myself as an optimistic.
All right.
That is why.
Qualities are missing from your brother. Is that what you say? Or have you been able to quantify that these qualities are in more magnitude in you than him?
Sir, I think these qualities are more attributed in me than him.
All right. All right. A collegian system we were talking about. Honorable ma'am was asking you about collegian system and you were telling certain points about it. Tell me one to the point answer. What is the ground or argument against the collegium system? Why at all there is a debate about it? What's wrong with the collegium system?
So Parliament says that if the judges is to be appointed by the judges of the Supreme Court, then there may be the chance of nepotism, because they appoint the authorities who will in favor of them, and they will advocate for their benefit. So this is the I think it is the against of it.
Okay. Is there some provision of a reservation for the transgender in India?
Yes, sir. State of Karnataka has give reservation of 1% in the jobs and appointments.
Do you think that the same policy should be extended to the rest of the country as well?
Yes, sir. I think the provision should be applied in all the states of the India, because they are the minor communities of our India, and they should be given a reasonable opportunity to be adequately represented in their jobs and appointments.
All right, all right. What has been the opinion of Law Commission on Uniform Civil Code?
Sir, the 22nd Law Commission recommended for the Uniform Civil Code. It says that a common code is to be applicable all over the India, irrespective of the religion, because the criminal law is codified, but the civil law is not codified. So the law should be equally applicable on all the communities with regard to the marriages and divorce, succession, and inheritance. And by this,
Somebody actually oppose any community for that matter. Can any community make this allegation that the state is trying to interfere with their religious matters if there is a uniform civil code about, say, marriage? Okay, there is some code, some law as a part of the uniform civil code, and that particular provision pertains to marriage. Okay, marriage as an institution, marriage as a process. Acha. Can that particular community raise a valid objection कि ये तो आप हमारे, you are interfering with our religious matters? Will that be a valid argument in terms of Article 25 and 26? I'll help
So
you.
under-
I'll help you by giving a concrete example. Suppose our Muslim brothers and sisters, suppose the opposition comes from our Muslim community, and they say that since there are already laws, personal laws governing the conduct of marriage, then any particular law passed which is not in conformity with the personal law amounts to a breach of religious freedom or violation of religious freedom. Will that be a correct argument?
sir, in my opinion, I think Article 25 provides for the freedom of religion to everyone. And if any community argues for the common code, then his opinion will be taken into consideration. But sir, can I take a moment?
Sure, beta. I hope you have not lost the question. The question is very limited, and that is, if somebody argues that a law made by the parliament on how to conduct marriage is not in conformity with the personal law, can they say that this violates religious freedom?
They can say that the law violates their marriage system, but sir, the purpose of the Uniform Civil Code is not to incorporate the same marriages. For example, if in Hindu, if the marriages are solemnized by taking 7 steps, then it does not mean that the Muslim community also has to follow that procedure. It only means that marriages is to be registered for their solemnization.
now rephrase my question. Because the purpose is not to interrogate you. The purpose is to know your view and understanding. The purport of the question is simple. Is marriage a religious matter?
So marriage is not a religious matter because
Since
yes,
it's
sir.
not a religious matter, so there is no question of violation of Article 25 and 26.
Yes, sir.
This has already been laid down by the Honorable Supreme Court, isn't it? That's
Yes,
already
sir.
clarified. Yes, that's why. So that ground will not be valid.
Yes,
Okay, tell me, when we talk about Uniform Civil Code, then there are many arguments which also imply that if we go for a uniform law, uniform civil law, it will also in the long run help in integration of us, all of us as a nation. National integrity may be a help karega. That there are many arguments like that. On this, I want to know your view. Think about it. Take 10 seconds and think and tell us, is uniformity essential for unity?
Yes, sir. If common code is applicable to all the communities in the India, then it will promote the unity and integrity of the nation. But if it is not applicable, even though unity is unity is there in India, but if code is applicable to all person, then all communities is to be governed by the uniform civil code, and there is no impartiality. All person will be governed by the same code.
All right. Do you think the protection against domestic violence is available to same-sex couple as of now?
Sir, in my opinion, uh, it should be also available to same-sex couples because they are
That
also.
is not the question, my dear. Is it available as of now?
So right now the same-sex marriage is not recognized, but it is recognized.
I'm asking whether protection against domestic violence, the law that is there on domestic violence, there is a law. You must be aware. Is that law
So,
applicable to same-sex couple or not? That's this limited question.
sorry, sir.
That's fine. No problem. No problem. Why do you think that Uniform Civil Code, the spirit of Uniform Civil Code, was only confined to directive principles of state policy, and they were not made constitutionally mandatory for the state?
Uniform Civil Code is mentioned, is recognized as a DPSP, and the state have to strive to secure Uniform Civil Code in the all the states, and to promote the unity and integrity of the nation. And it is not constitutional because today it is not possible.
Why was it not made constitutionally mandatory? Why wasn't it given the force of fundamental rights kind of compulsiveness? Why not?
Because in India there is different types of community lives, and they argue that they should be governed by their own laws and their own personal laws, and that's why there is an issue that common law code is not recognized as a constitutional.
Do you know any state in our country that actually has some sort of UCC?
Yes, sir. Goa, state of Goa has the Uniform Civil Code.
Do you also know any particular country or countries of the world which have Uniform Civil Code? Any Islamic countries, religion-based countries?
Sorry, sir, I don't know about it.
No problem, no problem. What are your hobbies?
Sir, reading books.
Which would be the best book that you remember that you have read?
Who Will Cry When You Die?
All right, all right. So what is the take home from that? What did you learn from that book?
Sir, when a person born, the world laugh, and we have to do something. When we die, then the world also when we die, the world should also cry. And
Right.
sir, it is healthy.
All right, all right. Should that be a guiding principle for a person to frame the goals of his life as to how many people will cry after he dies? Is that a very good goal to aspire for?
Sir, if a person if a person does any act of
You mean to say it is a kind of symbolic way of saying that when you lead your life, then lead your life in such a manner that you touch upon the lives of people positively, so that you make a difference in their lives. That's what you must be implying, isn't it? That's perfectly.
yes, sir.
So how do you see that as a judge? How can you achieve the same objective of touching upon people's life?
Sir, I will do justice impartially, and I will also take the care that they should not get hurt from me, and they should and I maintain by I should and I have to maintain my behavior with them with a good vibes, and I have to mm, I have to always be there to help the people when they need me.
All right, all right. And which was the last book that you read? Was it this only or some other book?
Sir, the powers of prayer, Joseph Murphy.
All right, very, very nice, very well. And what has been your latest academic interest in law of late? What you have been reading?
Sorry, sir.
I'll come again. Of late, recently, what has been an area in law as a discipline in legal studies? What have you been reading more than other areas? Or say, what is your area of interest of late?
Sir, contract and Indian evidence. Sir.
Indian Evidence Act as well. Okay, okay. So
Yes.
tell me something about Indian Evidence Act. What is the difference between judicial and quasi-judicial proceeding?
Sir, judicial proceeding is the proceeding in which all the procedure is to be followed by the law, which is mentioned in the law, and quasi-judicial proceeding is there are the some of the elements of a judicial nature. All the elements are not of the judicial nature, but they have resemblance of the judicial matters.
Just an example as to which element would be missing in quasi-judicial proceedings.
So a tribunal is a quasi-judicial body,
Right.
and a court is the judicial body.
Oh, that's all right. I'm not asking. I'm asking the components of judicial functions. Which of the components or which elements would be missing in quasi-judicial functions?
Sir, in quasi-judicial, the
The meaning
matters
of quasi?
Yes,
Quasi.
sir.
Do you actually understand the meaning of the term quasi?
Yes, I guess, sir, half.
Exactly. So there must be something, some part would be missing, and then it becomes half.
Yes,
Isn't it?
sir.
What would that
Yes,
be?
sir.
Any one example? Think about it.
Sir, I guess appeal can be made in the matters of judiciary, and appeal cannot be made in tribunal.
That is, even though that is not correct, but that is a matter after the case is decided. Do you remember, or are you able to recall that this particular step is missing from quasi-judicial when the trial is going on? I'm asking when the proceedings are going on.
Sorry, sir. I'm not
Would it
able
be
to
the
recall
Indian
it.
Evidence Act itself?
Yes, sir.
The Indian Evidence Act itself, its applicability, is it as strictly applicable to quasi-judicial proceedings as to judicial proceedings?
No, sir. Indian Evidence Act is not applicable to quasi-judicial proceedings.
All right, then what would be applicable to quasi-judicial proceedings if Indian evidence is not applicable? Then where from the people will take guidance?
Sorry, sir. I cannot recall it.
And what we say, that it is not strictly applicable to quasi-judicial proceedings. Okay. On matters
Yes,
of
sir.
confusion, on matters where there is no clarity, people can always look back to the Indian Evidence Act, but a plea cannot be decided on the basis of Evidence Act. Okay. A substantive thing cannot be decided merely on the basis of Evidence Act. That is the meaning. Oh, that's all right. That's all right. Tell me three most talked about current affairs topics from law domain.
So the three bills which was introduced in Parliament, and the Government of Delhi NCT bill, and the Election Commission of India for their appointment of EC and CEC. So the three bills was introduced in Parliament, that is Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita and Bharatiya Nyaya Suraksha Sanhita and Bharatiya Sakshya Bill. These bills seeks to provide justice. The act which was applicable from the colonial era were IPC, CRPC, and Indian Evidence Act. The bill seeks to provide that justice when these acts are applicable from that time. These mentions that the purpose of the making of these laws is that to punish the people for the protection of
Under
the rule
the
of the
Indian Evidence
Britishers.
Act, what is the difference between presumption and fiction? Is it defined somewhere in the Evidence Act?
So presumption is not defined in the Indian Evidence Act. But presumption means the inference which is drawn by the courts, and fiction is the thought of a mind which any person can so fiction is the thought of a mind which any person can pursue it. And
What is the
in
legal fiction?
Yes, sir.
Legal fiction, statutory fiction or legal fiction?
Sorry, sir.
Okay, fine. Just a couple of more questions from my side. That will be, tell me one incidence of your life where you consider that actually you try to change someone's life by your positive act.
Sir, there was a case in which the married couple wants to divorce to each other, and the husband has not, the wife has not committed the death of the husband. But even though she was, even though it was considered that she will be the murderer of her husband. So, sir, I think that it is wrong against her because she has not done anything. So I think, sir, I want to.
Did not
I
understand
want.
my question, my dear. Listen to it carefully. I asked you to please recount, tell me, remember some incidents from your past life where you see that you try to make a difference in somebody's life. Any good contribution to society that you
Yes,
have?
yes, sir. Sir, there was a person who was suffering from depression, and I want that. He will be okay. But I tried my hard, but that situation not well till now.
That is all
So
right.
I wanted.
Absolutely. Efforts are what you are credited for.
Yes,
Consequences
sir.
may not follow the efforts, but that's very, very good. Very good. So
Yes.
do you, since you have now dealt with a person who actually has suffered from depression, can you understand the plight of people who want to have a same-sex marriage? Can you understand their mental trauma? Can you imagine the mental trauma that they must be in? Huh? You
Yes.
can well understand. So why are there arguments against their marriage being given legal recognition? What are society's best arguments against them that their marriage should not be legally recognized?
So so society thinks that if the child born from the same-sex marriage, then they will be regarded as that their parents are gay, and they will be not considered as a legitimate child.
Can there be a child from same-sex marriage?
So if they adopt any child, then when
But
they
then
grow
how
up,
can
then
you say that if child is born to the same sex?
sorry, sir, I mean to say when they
Okay.
adopt.
And then one is this, that the child.
Yes.
So how is the society so much bothered about the future of the child when they are not even bothered about the present of the parents? Forget about it. Any other argument why they should
Yes,
not
sir.
be recognized?
Because in India, the marriages are solemnized between two persons, that is a male and female, and it is a conservative approach of the society that marriages cannot be solemnized between the two same-sex couples, and it is seen that it will be derogatory to the our traditions and our culture, because in India we follow that we follow that the marriage is to be solemnized between two couples of different sex.
All right, all right. My final question to you is, suppose a law comes to be in place, a law is passed giving legal recognition to the
Yes.
same-sex marriages. That law would be an example of natural law, positive law, analytical law, sociological law, social law, school of thought. किसका होगा ये आपके हिसाब से?
So in my opinion, it will be positive law.
Very well. That will be all from my side. Very well done. We will get back in the feedback.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, sir.
अनुज जी लीजिए
सर थोड़ा सर
Good evening, sir.
गुड इवनिंग Okay, Rashmi,
Yes.
tell me something about the legal moralism.
Sir, legal moralism is a mix of the morality and the law. The both should continue together. And if there should also be morality, and there should also be the law which is not prohibited by the law, and a law which should not be prohibited by law, and a thing or a fact which should also not against the moral sentiments of the society, then it is the moral. Then it is a legal moralism.
Okay, just tell me about any law which provides such type of things. Is there any act which
So
provides
Dowry
the legal
Prohibition
moralism?
Act. The Dowry Prohibition Act.
Dowry Prohibition Act?
Yes, sir.
My again question. Have you read about or heard about the Wolfendan Committee? A report? Wolfendan report
Sorry, sir, I have not heard about it.
related to the homosexuality.
Sorry, sir.
And what is the emotional abuse?
So emotional abuse is the abuse in which the victim is abused for not having a child, or if she is taunted for their figure and their body, and if she is being taunted for not having a male child also.
Is there any provision in any act?
Yes, sir. Sir, there is the provision under Domestic Violence Act, under section 3.
What is the distributive justice?
The distributive justice means the justice should be distributed between all the person equally. And there should not be any discrimination on the basis of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth.
Something more?
person should not be discriminated on the basis of from where they are coming, from which place they are being there.
Okay. What is legal relevancy and logical relevancy?
So legal relevancy is a fact which is relevant to the fact in issue or a relevant fact. But logical relevancy is the reasoning which is based on the human experience or a reasoning of a human nature.
Are you correct?
Sir, I guess I am correct.
So what is that admissibility? Whether it is a legal relevancy or logical relevancy?
Well, logical relevancy.
So on the basis of logic, here the court is able to accept the evidence.
Yes, sir.
You mean to say,
Yes, sir.
which is logically correct. Here the court can accept the evidence. There is no need of any legal relevancy here.
So if a person derives the knowledge from his own, if a person sees any accident being committed in his front, then it is based on her logic and on his nature, then it is relevant and admissible.
Suppose a fact which is not legally relevant can be admissible by a court.
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to recall it.
Okay, just think it.
No, sir.
Then
Sir, legal relevancy will be admissible and logical will be not admissible.
exactly. So what is the relevancy of the fact?
When a fact is connected with the fact in issue or relevant fact in any of the manner, mentioned under chapter section 5 to 55, then it will be relevant.
It will be relevant or relevant fact?
It will be relevant fact.
Relevant fact or relevant?
Sir, relevant होगा.
Only relevant. Yes.
Yes, sir.
What is a dying declaration?
So dying declaration is the statement of a person. Dying declaration is the statement of a person which is under the expectation of death, and or
Under
it is
the
a state.
expectation of death.
No, sir. Sir, sorry. Sir, I want to correct it.
Okay.
Can I? So dying declaration is the statement of a person telling the cause of his death or any of the circumstances of the transaction in which his death is resulted, and his statement will be relevant in the civil proceedings and as well as criminal proceedings.
And what is the difference between Indian law and English law?
Sir, under English law, there must be expectation of death, person making the statement. And
what
in
is the
Indian law,
evidentiary value? What is the evidentiary value of the dying declaration?
sir, in the case of Kushal Rao versus State, it was held that the conviction can be based on the sole basis of dying declaration because it is presumed that a person cannot die with a lie in his mouth.
In all cases, a dying declaration is a substantive piece of evidence.
Yes, sir, dying declaration is the substantive piece of evidence.
Okay, if he is mentally unstable, suppose a burning case, and he is not mentally stable, and he has given the statement to the magistrate. On the basis of this statement or a dying declaration, accused can be convicted.
No, sir. No, sir. If the person is unsound mind, then he has not he is not able to form a rational judgment and a rational opinion, then his statement will not be relevant.
Okay.
Conviction cannot be based on it.
And who is a sane person?
Sane person is the person a person who is sound is the sane person.
Who is
A person who is the sound mind.
sound mind means?
If he is above the age of 18 years and he has power to form a rational opinion, then he is a sane person.
Any person who is above the age of year is a sound man, according to you.
Sir, he also must have a power to form a rational opinion or a rational judgment.
Okay. Who is a victim?
Sir, victim is the person who suffers loss or injury by the act of any person or by the act of the accused.
Whether the
And
yes, okay. Go on.
victim is defined under Section 2WA of the CRPC code.
Whether the guardian can be a victim or not.
Sir, yes, sir. The term victim includes their guardian also.
Is legal here or here?
Sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir. They can be included in the victim.
So why are you not
Because
defining the? Yes. Okay. Just tell me two provisions related to the women's in IPC.
sir, Section 354 and Section 376.
370, not 5.
So yes, sir. 325 also.
Okay. So what says section 354?
Sir, Section 354 says that if any person uses criminal force or assault against a woman, then it is said that he is outraging the modesty of a woman.
What is a criminal force?
Criminal force is the force which is used with the intention to cause harm or loss to uh, the victim or sorry sir, I am not able to recall it.
Tell me about the dowry death, which is mentioned at the 304B.
Yes sir. So Section 304B IPC provides for the dowry death. If any person commits the death of a woman by burns, bodily injury, or otherwise within the 7 years of marriage, or subjected her to cruelty before the death of the marriage in connection with the demand of the
Before the marriage or immediate before the marriage?
sir, within 7 years of marriage.
Within the 7 years of marriage.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And subjected her to cruelty before her death, then the person is said to be liable for the dowry death.
What is the nature of evidence which is presented in a case of dowry? Whether it is a may presume or a shall presume?
Sir, it is may presume.
May presume.
Sorry, sir. I want to correct it. May I?
Yes.
Section 113B provides for presumption in case of dowry death. The court shall presume the woman if she is subjected to cruelty before her death by the husband or any of the relatives of the husband. And such presumption can be rebutted by the evidence of the accused.
So what is the difference between the may presume and shall presume?
Sir, in case of may presume, it is not mandatory on the court to presume the fact. But in case of shall presume, the court is bound to presume a fact in favor of the prosecution.
In a case of may presume, court is not bound to presume. Then what
Yes,
he
it
can
is the
do?
discretion of the court. So it is the discretion of the court whether to presume a fact or not to presume a fact.
So if not presume the fact, then what court can do?
Then the prosecution have to prove his case, and after that the onus shift on the accused person to prove his case.
Okay. In Indian evidence, two specific sections related to the woman.
Sir, firstly 113B and 114.
100
114A capital. Sir, 113B, 114A.
and what is the provision in 114A?
Sir, it is the presumption in favor of the prosecution. If the victim says that there was no consent in the sexual offences, then court shall presume that absence of the consent on the part of the prosecution.
Court may presume or shall presume here?
The court shall presume.
She has not given the consent.
Yes, sir.
What kind of a fact where there is no need to prove?
Fact judicially noticeable need not to be proved in the court of law. Section 56 and 57 and 58 provides for the judicially noticeable facts.
Reasonable foresightedness in a tort.
Yes, sir. Sir, reasonable foresightedness means the person has to pay damages only for those consequences which he can see reasonably or which he can see directly.
And what is co-personal property?
Sorry, sir. I am not able to recall it.
Who is a co-partner? Whether the woman
Sir,
is a co-partner?
Yes, sir. After the 2005 Amendment Act, in the succession, it is held by the court that the woman can also be the co-partner of the property.
And who is a co-partner?
Co-partner is the person who is able to hold the property.
Then who is a heir?
Sir, heir is the descendants. Heir is the descendants. They can heir the property.
So anybody who can heir the property can be a co-partner.
Sorry, sir.
स्त्री धन और स्त्री संपदा. स्त्री धन क्या है?
Sir, Stridhan is the property of the female which he acquires on his own behalf or by their parents. It is the Stridhan of the property. And Stridhan, there is the provision under section 14 of the Maintenance Adoption and Maintenance Act 1956.
Woman can give the divorce in a case of Muslim law?
Yes, sir.
Where? And what are the grounds?
There are 7 grounds.
7
When
or
the
9?
husband, sir, 9. Sorry, sir,
Okay.
7. If the husband is impotent or he is imprisonment for a period of 4 years, he is imprisonment or he is missing for the period of 4 years, or there is the option of puberty, and so right now I can recall
What is the
only
option
these
of
4.
puberty?
Option of puberty is the right of a woman to revoke the marriage if solemnized, if the marriage is contracted before the age of 15 years. Then the marriage, then the wife has a right to revoke the marriage within the period of uh, uh, within the period of 18 years. Sorry, sir. Within the age of 18 years.
Option of puberty is also available to Hindu married women.
Yes, sir. Option of puberty also is available to Hindu women under Section 12 of Hindu Marriage Act.
12
Yes, sir.
or 13.
Sir, as far as I can recall, it is Section 13.
13 plus 2. So what is the difference between option of puberty in a Hindu and Muslim law?
Under Muslim law, the woman can revoke the marriage till she attains the period of 18 years. When she crosses the age of 18 years, then she cannot repudiate the marriage. And in case of a Hindu woman, she can repudiate the marriage anytime.
Anytime.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Sir, I'm not sure.
So my last two questions. The first one is there any preventive provision in a CRPC? Not punitive, preventive.
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm unable to recall exact section, but if the police founds or any information is received that any cognizable offense is going to be committed, then the Pune police can arrest a person for preventive detention.
Okay. What is the iddat? Idda.
Sir, that is the period in which the Muslim woman can observe. That is the period in after the divorce of a Muslim woman till she to ascertain the paternity of the child. The women have to wait for 3 months to observe the period of iddat.
3 months. In all
Yes,
cases.
sir. No, sir. In the case of death, she has to observe the period of iddat, that is 4 months and 10 days.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yes, Rashmi.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. You are looking very pretty. Huh?
Thank you, sir.
This saree you are going to wear in the interview.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Very good. Your father is the judicial service.
Yes, sir.
He's also from PCSJ.
Yes, sir.
From which batch he is?
Sir, from 2003 batch.
Whole family wanted to be in the judiciary. Your dad is in
No.
judiciary. You are in the judiciary.
No, no, sir. My elder sister has no interest in judiciary. She wants to be going academics.
So what she is doing?
She is preparing for exam, that is CTET.
Which exam?
CTET.
Okay.
CTET.
Your younger brother is interested for the judiciary.
Yes, sir.
Why you and your brother both are interested in judiciary?
Sir, because I have interest in the judiciary and I have seen my father as a judicial officer, so I have developed the interest in judiciary.
Only interest in judiciary. What does it mean? You are having interest in judiciary. Just explain me. What is my interest in the judiciary?
Sir, I want to be a judge uh, because when a person is interested in any service, then he can do better in that. And because of my interest in judiciary, that is why I want, because I am interested to learn the law subjects and sir, I can do better in the process of delivery of justice.
Give the 3 points why you want to be a judge. Just 3 points. 1, 2, 3. Point number 1.
Sir, I want to serve the society through this job, and it also provides a financial security to us. And sir, because sir, my interest in judiciary, that is why.
Now you again tell 3 more points.
Yes, sir.
Tell me 3 more points. Think.
Sir, there are a lot of challenges and opportunities through which we can learn many more. And I think, sir, I'm eligible for this job because I have a decision making power, and I am optimistic also, and I'm hardworking.
I'm giving you your answer. You tell out of these what 3 you choose. You have said the answer, serve society. If you want to write, you can
Yes,
write. I'm
sir.
not sure. Financial
Yes, sir.
security, interest in judiciary, lot of
Yes,
challenges,
sir.
opportunities. You can write it. I'm not sure.
Yes, sir.
You can write it. You can write it. I'm again repeating. Serve
Sir,
society.
sir, can I
Yes,
take a moment?
yeah, sure. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Serve society, financial security, interest in judiciary, lot of challenges and opportunities, eligible for the job. I'm eligible for the job. I have decision-making power. I'm optimistic. I'm hardworking. Now
Sir, what is the
you
last one?
hardworking.
Yes.
Last 4, I'm eligible for the job. I have decision-making power. I'm optimistic and I'm hardworking. These 4 are your qualities. Rest you observe one. So you just choose in these the 3 qualities to be judged.
Yes, sir.
Out of this, you
Sir,
choose
last
3.
50.
You just repeat. Don't say last 3. You repeat what 3 qualities you want as a judge out of this.
I have decision making power, and I'm
Okay.
hardworking,
Okay.
and I am optimistic.
Okay. These 3 are your qualities. You are saying that
Yes,
because
sir.
I have these 3 qualities, therefore I want to become a judge.
Yes, sir.
These 3 qualities are sufficient to be a good judge. That you have decision power, you have optimistic, you're hardworking.
Sir, I think these are sufficient, and there are.
You have a hobby reading.
Yes, sir.
You have given the name of one book, Who Will Cry When
When you die. Yes,
Who
sir.
has written this?
Robin Sharma.
Why you like this book?
Sir, because these books taught us how to live a life and how to style our life and how to live the life in society.
Any Hindi novel you
And
have read?
no, sir.
No Hindi novel?
No, sir.
Any Hindi story?
Yes, sir. I like to read short stories, like sir, short story. Like sir, in my childhood, I read that there was a Champak story which my father brought us to read for that, and Bal Bharti, something like that.
How many books you have written till date? Can you give an estimate?
Sir, sir, sir,
Roughly.
please pardon.
How many books you have read till date? You have the reading as a hobby. How many books you have read till date? Any idea? Just rough idea.
Sir, 4-5 books.
By reading only 4-5 books at the age of 24, 25, 26, 23 years, you can
Yes,
say it's
sir.
my hobby. You can say it's my hobby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because when I read book, I think I am interested in it, and I read it by my own interest. And sir, after 12, I started reading books, and before that, I was not reading.
You have answered one question of the show, sir,
Yes, sir.
that if there is a choice to choose between you and your brother, who will go as a judge, there's only one vacancy. You have chosen for yourself. I'm again
Yes, sir.
asking, because sufficient time has been passed. Are you stick with the same answer or you want to change it?
Sir, I'm still with the same answer.
If your brother is pleading there ki you are a very brilliant, you can do somewhere else also, you can do the practice also, you can give ICE exam also, let me have this job, and you try something else, can you sacrifice for him?
Sir, if I will get that chance, then I will sacrifice because of that emotional and sensitiveness. But if I will think practical, then I will choose for myself.
Give one answer, you'll sacrifice or not?
Sir, I will not sacrifice.
Why not sacrifice? You are self-centered, selfish. If I
No,
say
sir,
you're
I'm not
selfish,
selfish. No,
then
sir, I'm not selfish. Because I cannot choose a person due to some emotional sensitiveness. Because if I do this, then it will be negative for my job also. Because if I get oversensitive and I get emotional, then it will have a negative impact. So that is why I have to be practical.
can you give some benefits of the common civil code?
Pardon, sir?
Some benefits of the common civil code. Common civil code is being discussed a
Yes,
lot,
sir. Yes, sir.
and everything which is being discussed and Parliament want to do it, it's always for the benefit of the society. It is
Yes,
being
sir.
understood. It is right also. If Parliament is doing something, it's certainly Parliament has thought for the benefit of the society. There's no debate in it. Can you
Yes, sir.
give some points that how it will benefit to the society?
Sir, it will promote the unity and integrity of the nation, and it will treat the all the communities equally. And by this application, there will be no discrimination between the communities of India, and the person cannot say that I am treated with discrimination or the government is doing discrimination with us.
I
Yes,
say your
sir.
answer is wrong. How will you respond to this? Or your answer is not complete. Your answer is mature. I'm criticizing your answer. How you will respond to it?
Sir, I will accept it gracefully because
Why you accept it?
the
Why
person,
you accept gracefully if it is right? It means you have the wrong answer to me.
because the every individual has their own opinion.
Okay.
I cannot impose
If
my opinion to someone else. It is my opinion.
you have idea about CRPC,
Yes, sir, I have read it.
anything you tell only one thing about CRPC, whichever you want to tell me.
Sir, bail.
What is bail?
Sir, bail means to set a person at liberty who is arrested or imprisoned.
Bail is for a person who has been arrested. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Therefore, some warrant has been issued against him for arrest.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Whom warrant is being directed?
Sir, a warrant can be directed against. A warrant can be directed to a police
Listen
officer.
question. Listen question. To whom warrants? To whom directed?
Sir, warrant can be directed to a police officer to investigate, to arrest a person.
Is it necessary to issue a warrant to the police officer?
Sir, in some circumstances, it can be issued to any other person also if the police officer is not available at that time.
Till how long the warrant is in force?
So a warrant can be enforced until it is executed.
Any other ground? If it is not executed, how long it will be enforced? Suppose on the today was date 18th August. Suppose 18th August the warrant has been issued. Till how long it will be enforced?
Sir, until the person get arrested.
If person is not getting arrested till next 2 years, then
Then when he will be found, then he can be arrested.
it means warrant will be in the domain till the indefinite period.
Sorry, sir, I have no idea.
कोई बात नहीं, आपने इसका आंसर बहुत अच्छा दिया है. You have given a very nice answer. I said you have given the best answer of this question. You have control over the CRTC, I can say that.
Yes.
What is form of charges?
Sir, please pardon.
You have no idea?
Sir, please pardon. Please repeat the question.
What is form of charges? What is the charges in the CRPC?
Sir, the term charge is defined under Section 2B of CRPC. Charge means charge includes any one of the head if it contains more than one head. The generally charge is the formal accusation of a case on the accused person by the court.
Last question. Can public interest litigation
Yes, sir.
may be taken for the writ jurisdiction under Article 32 of the Constitution?
Sir, public interest litigation are the epistolary jurisdiction of the court under Article 139, because these are the PIL which is to be filed by the letters or paper to the court, and it cannot be filed under Article 32.
We are saying the public interest litigation cannot be filed under Article 32.
Yes, sir.
You are sure?
Sir, as far as I can recall, I think so.
There is any case law where the public interest litigation can be filed under Article 32?
Sorry, sir.
Bandhuwa Mukti Morcha case?
Sir, I have heard this case. But
AIR 1984 Supreme Court is 02.02.
sorry, sir.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you, Rashmi. You have done very well. Yes, sure. Start the analysis part.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Yes, sir. कुछ जो ओवरऑल आपके बॉडी लैंग्वेज और डिमीनर और एटिकेट से संबंधित है, पहले वो आप समझ लीजिए अच्छे से.
Yes, sir.
एक तो सबसे पहला मेरा सजेशन है कि आप क्वेश्चन पे बहुत ज्यादा फोकस करिए बेटा. क्वेश्चन पे एक्सट्रीम फोकस. आई मीन नथिंग एल्स. एवरी वर्ड should be visible to you, not only audible. It should be visible to you, so to say. Okay? क्वेश्चन को आप ध्यान से सुनना शुरू करिए, आपको बहुत फायदा होगा बेटा इससे. ठीक है? That's your top priority. That इसकी आदत डालनी पड़ती है. You have to train yourself. Okay?
Yes.
जो attention span होता है, attention span is highly variable, a very highly variable attribute. But for the purposes of this important and very, very serious occasion of your professional career, you have to train yourself. It takes 1 day,
Yes,
2
sir.
days, that's all. 1 or 2 days, or maybe even just commit to yourself that एक भी इसमें जितने भी parts होते हैं sentence के ना,
Yes, sir.
noun, verb, prefix, suffix, preposition, कुछ छूटना नहीं चाहिए. सब ध्यान से सुनेंगे हम उसको. If you do that, that will be
Yes,
the
sir.
greatest help that you will receive. Okay, number 1. Number 2, शायद ये वहां उतना relevant नहीं रह जाएगा. अभी I saw that when initially when you were interacting with the honorable ma'am, then the energy level and the vibes and everything was very different, and slowly and gradually when the number of questions went on to be lengthy, or when the satisfaction that you were deriving from your own answers, when it got started tapering down, then your energy level also tended to went down. That should not be the case. Okay, every question is a fresh match for you. Every
Yes,
question,
sir.
treat it as if it is the first question. That will help you again. Okay, number 2. Number 3, I think in your session, there were more than at least 5 to 6 occasions where certain corrections were suggested by the panel members themselves. They helped you correct yourself. They gave you the opportunity to amend yourself and come out with a rectified answer, isn't it? At many occasions.
Yes.
Section 12 hoga, ki section 13 hoga, falana hoga, ki are you sure? Whenever it happens, a small thank you, sir, will do a great service to your impression. Okay, it is very
Yes,
necessary.
sir.
अगर 1-2 बार होता तो मैं दूसरा phrase बताता, but because it is likely to happen 4-5 times, then you simply say, sir, thank you sir, thank you sir. Otherwise, say, sir, thank you so much for allowing me to correct myself. That's all we say. लेकिन चुप ही बोलिए, thank you sir, is enough. Then I guess you use 2 or 3 times. I guess that you don't say that. I believe.
Yes, sir.
I think.
Yes, sir.
Better phrases, not I guess. Okay.
ठीक.
हो सकता है नेट पिकिंग कर रहा हूं, मैं बाल की खाल निकाल रहा हूं, लेकिन जो मुझे समझ में आ रहा है मैं आपको बता रहा हूं. आप अपना
Yes,
डिस्क्रिप्शन,
sir.
सब लोग मैम और सर मुझे करेक्ट करेंगे ही कि ये सही है कि नहीं. आगे देखते हैं. दूसरा, प्लीज अवॉइड लॉन्ग आंसर्स, एंड दिस इज द अदर साइड ऑफ द सेम कॉइन where I said that you should focus on the question. Because you are failing to focus on the question, you are failing to understand the limitation of the question, and that is why you
Yes,
tend
sir.
innocently you tend to trespass the boundaries of that question. If you focus
Yes,
properly,
sir.
then ये तो कसम ही खा लो कि 3 to 4 sentences से ज्यादा तो बोलना ही नहीं है किसी में.
ठीक.
30-40 seconds के पहले खत्म कर देना है. हर इसका आदत डाल लीजिए आप, ठीक है. बहुत ज्यादा बिल्कुल नहीं बोलना है. लॉन्ग आंसर्स नॉट एडवाइजेबल फॉर यू, ठीक है.
Yes, sir.
There were many awkward moments where you heard the question and then started looking somewhere else. वो तो आप वहां पर मैनेज कर लेंगे, टेबल के सेंटर में देख लीजिएगा. But you
Yes,
didn't say anything for 10-15 seconds. Sometimes, a couple of times it
yes,
happened. What you should do in response to such questions where you really need deep thought, it is always advisable to request, sir, kindly allow me a few seconds. That's enough. Sir or ma'am, kindly allow me a few seconds time, a moment. That's always advisable.
yes,
Awkward हो जा रही है वो situation में. फिर
yes.
हाँ, this one is important. कि I thought that many of the questions got suboptimally answered by you because of your discomfort with phrasing the sentence and English language. I felt it very palpably, I found, and it is perfectly all right. That's not our first language. There's no shame in it. Okay, there's no embarrassment. But what I'm saying, if something is so important, some question is important, you know it, and then in the first attempt you are not able to actually answer it because of linguistic limitation, better to say,
Yes, sir.
sir, may I rephrase my answer in Hindi or mixed bilingual way.
Yes, sir.
मसाला न मिस हो जाए भाई, इस पर कोई गुस्साता नहीं है कि देखो आपने कोशिश की, नहीं बन पा रहा है, कोई बात नहीं. If the thought flow is proper, linguistic flow is not commensurate, better to seek the permission of the panel and finish your answer in Hindi. No shame in it. In fact, there is no shame at all in it, not even a semblance of shame. तो उसमें वो कोई दिक्कत की बात नहीं. Next, panel को कभी interrupt नहीं करना है, and it happens because you are rushing. You replay it and find out when Ojha sir asked, he was asking something. No, sir. No, sir. It happened 2-3 times. only once. It happened only once. Maybe it is also attributable to this medium of communication, but I will advise you to have patience. Let the panel finish. क्वेश्चन इसीलिए तो कहा जाता है जब तक क्वेश्चन खत्म होने के बाद 3-4 सेकंड ना हो जाए तब बोलना नहीं है. हो सकता है उनका और आपको मदद करने का मन हो और थोड़ा और क्वेश्चन को क्लैरिफाई कर दें. Why not? Why to lose that opportunity? Don't rush into answering the question. Okay. Then whole family wants to enter judiciary. Okay. That was the question. उसी में आप नो तो सर हमारी एक बहन है जो नहीं करना चाह रही है. So that is the exception that proves the rule actually. If you ask me, that is an exception only. So you can nobody asked you to justify it. Nobody asked you to justify why all of the family members want to go into judiciary. So there was no need to justify or feel defensive about it. Just say yes sir, it's a pleasant coincidence. It's a beautiful coincidence. शर्म क्या है? It's a beautiful coincidence. This inclination has come in more than one family members. However, my so-and-so sister is inclined towards, is not interested in judiciary. नहीं, it is inclined more in academics. That's how we say. Not negative. ये सब नहीं बोलिए, कम करिए, है ना? उसी चीज को कहने का क्या बोल सकता है? एक क्वेश्चन पे मैं अभी सर और मैम तो करेंगे ही गाइड. इस पर मैं बार बार मुझे कहने का मन हो रहा था. 3 क्वालिटीज जो आप बनना, इस पर कई बार बात हुई. And sir very pointedly asked you whether these 3 qualities are sufficient for you to be a good judge, and then you said yes. That implies rigidity of mind to me. Okay, we say these are I believe sir that these are the bare minimum that I will start my journey with, and so many more. This is a trajectory of learning for me, sir. There will be so many more qualities that would have to be refined for me to function properly as a judge. So this is the basic minimum that I think I have. This is the basic minimum that I think I possess. बस इससे ये नहीं कहना कि नहीं बस इतने में काम हमारा हो जाएगा, और कुछ नहीं चाहिए, ईमानदारी नहीं चाहिए, जो है वो लीगल एक्यूमेंट नहीं चाहिए, ये सब ऐसा नहीं आप कर सकते हो. डोंट एक्सट्रीम आंसर्स नहीं देने हैं. और ये जो आई वोंट सैक्रिफाइस वाला जो आंसर था, इसमें दैट somehow does not, ये बड़ा ही सब्जेक्टिव है, बट टू मी this is not a very good answer. I'll not sacrifice. I'll not sacrifice, not because I am very worried and very wary of being emotional. That is cowardice. To avoid and escape getting emotional is cowardice. उसमें वो कोई दिक्कत है, उससे आपका कोई बहुत बड़ा पॉजिटिव क्वालिटी का वो reinforcement नहीं हो जा रहा है. Main reason is that you have to be objective. वही बात हो गई कि मेरी बहन को जुडिशरी में नहीं इंटरेस्ट है, उसमें ये नहीं, वही कहने का दूसरा तरीका है. ये मत कहिए कि मैं इमोशनल होकर अगर कैसे डिसीजन ले सकती हूँ. नो, से कि आई हैव टू बी ऑब्जेक्टिव एंड टू माय इंडिपेंडेंट एंड इम्पार्शियल असेसमेंट आई थिंक आई वुड बी अ बेटर जज देन माय ब्रदर. दैट्स व्हाई सर I will be doing injustice to my principles if I recommend somebody else over me when I am of objective belief that I possess those qualities better than that person. Simple. अगर impartial हो तो भाई दिखना चाहिए ना. I won't sacrifice क्योंकि मैं इमोशनल हो, ये सब नहीं है. बात है कि ऑब्जेक्टिवली सर मैं असेसमेंट करती हूँ, which is subject to correction. Maybe I am my objectivity is not up to the mark, but to my best mind, I think the qualities required, the hard work required, I have done more than that, and I deserve to be a judge better than any other person. That these are the reasons. That's all. उसमें है ना, उधर ले जाने कि हम इमोशनल होकर कैसे डिसीजन ले सकते हैं, ये वो ऐसा वो एक टेरिटरी है which you can easily avoid. You should not do that. Then just 4-5 points on merits very quickly. ओपिनियन ऑन लॉ कमीशन, क्योंकि मैं भी करंट अफेयर्स में बहुत ज्यादा नहीं हूँ, क्या 22nd लॉ कमीशन का रिपोर्ट आउट हो गया है यूसीसी पर?
यस सर, अभी आया है.
आई थॉट मुझे मालूम नहीं, आप देख लीजिएगा. आपने कहा कि 22nd लॉ कमीशन ने ये बोला है, तो मुझे लगा कि अभी तो शायद 21st का ही अवेलेबल था कि इट इज नॉट डिजायरेबल. एंड आप देख लीजिएगा, यू आर अ बेटर जज. एंड देन कॉलेजियम सिस्टम पे थोड़ा सा आपको बेटर आंसर देना चाहिए. दैट इज माय बिलीफ. द मेन फंडामेंटल द मैटर यू मिस्ड एक्चुअली. द क्रक्स ऑफ द मैटर इज नॉट दैट जजेस आर अपॉइंटिंग जजेस. द क्रक्स ऑफ द मैटर इज दैट नोबडी नोज ऑन व्हाट ग्राउंड्स दे डिसाइड. इट्स ओपेक. That's the crux of the matter. It's opaque. Opinion of law commission, religious freedom and marriage, they uniformity essential for one's education, education, qualification, presumption of presumption fiction में आपको मालूम होना चाहिए कि उससे कि Indian Evidence Act is your forte, तो you should read more about it. Presumption fiction कई बार पूछा है, बहुत बार पूछते हैं लोग.
Yes.
हाँ ठीक है, आपने फाइनली बताया. You misunderstood the question first. One incident where you believe that you made a positive contribution to somebody's life, but वही है, फोकस अच्छे से करिए, क्वेश्चन को पहले बार में ही सुन लीजिए. और बहुत आपके आंसर से मुझे कोई वो नहीं है, नो प्रॉब्लम एट ऑल, आंसर वाज फाइन, बट इट शुड नॉट बी द केस कि आप ऐसे पर्सनल वाले आंसर्स को कैसे, क्वेश्चंस को कैसे मिसअंडरस्टैंड कर सकते हैं. नेवर. सो 6 मैरिज की बात हो गई. व्हाई, एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन है मेरा आपसे. Why your school is named like that? What is the name of your school?
Lutz Conant Girls Inter College.
What is Lourdes?
Sir, my school is Christian college,
Fine,
and
that's not the answer.
sir, Lutz means it is Lutz mean God.
Is it so? Or is it the name
Yes,
of the
sir.
place?
No, sir, it is the name of the school. Lutz Conant Girls Inter College.
वही गलती की है. नो सर, नो सर नहीं भी कहो तो भी बोलना वही है. सर, इट इज द नेम ऑफ द प्लेस. नो सर नहीं बोलना है. यू डोंट कट समबडी. फ्रांस, साउथ वेस्टर्न फ्रांस में जो पायरेनीज माउंटेन्स है, वहां पर लूट्स नाम की जगह है, जहां पर ऐसे माना जाता है कि जो वर्जिन मैरी है उनसे जो है मिराकुलस एनकाउंटर्स लोगों के होते रहते हैं. तो वो क्रिश्चियंस का एकदम तीर्थ स्थल बन गया है. दैट्स व्हाई लूट्स. और आप बोल रहे हैं कि नहीं नहीं, नो सर, देन डज नॉट वर्क लाइक दैट. ओके, मैं आपके इंटरव्यू के लिए अगर ये पढ़ तो मुझे कोई, मैं नॉलेजेबल आदमी थोड़े हूँ. मैंने गूगल करके अभी देख लिया, क्योंकि मुझे आपको पूछना है वो सवाल. तो इफ आई कैन डू इट, यू शुड आल्सो डू इट. ये छोटी छोटी चीजों पे होमवर्क आपको कर लेना है कि कोई बेसिक में नहीं फंसा दे. एक लास्ट कॉम्प्लीमेंट है मेरा आपके लिए, बहुत ही अच्छा मुझे लगा. योर आंसर टू द क्वेश्चन ऑफ अनुज सर रिगार्डिंग मे प्रिज्यूम एंड शैल प्रिज्यूम, दैट वाज वंडरफुल. उसी लेवल का सटीक और बढ़िया आंसर देने का बाकी का प्रयास करिए, चाहे समय ज्यादा लग जाए सोचने में, दैट इज ओके, लेकिन यू गिव द पॉइंट आंसर. मुझे लगा कि दिस वाज अ विनर, वेरी गुड आंसर. I think Anuj sir would also agree later on. So this is what you do. Keep yourself well hydrated. Don't let your energy go down. And that's बाकी चीजें ठीक है. मुझे कोई पर्सनालिटी में ऐसा कोई बहुत एरर नहीं लगा. थोड़ी सी rigidity है और उसे आपको मैनेज कर ले जाना है कम से कम इंटरव्यू तक. पर्सनालिटी का ट्रेट होता है सब, रिजिडिटी नहीं है. That will be all from my side.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Swati?
Rashmi, actually, Shaurya has already covered all the points. I don't want to repeat many things, except I think one thing worth is कि 2-3 बार आपने बहुत लंबा गैप लिया है. वो दिख रहा था कि आप समझने की भी कोशिश कर रही हैं, याद भी करने की कोशिश कर रही हैं. अगर ऐसा हो गया, एक तो रिपीट करवा लीजिए क्वेश्चन अगर नहीं समझ आया है, सो दैट पॉइंट नहीं होना चाहिए. और दूसरा है, देन यू, इट इज बेटर टू से सर प्लीज गिव मी अ मोमेंट. बहुत लंबा गैप हो गया था, एटलीस्ट 2 बार तो मुझे याद है, आई थिंक उससे भी ज्यादा बार था. थोड़ा गैप चल रहा है, थोड़ा, और थोड़ा तो आपको रुक के सोचना भी है, क्योंकि मुझे आपका वीक पॉइंट सिर्फ यही लगा, आपको आता भी है, आप बोलना भी चाहते हैं और बोलते भी हो, बट व्हाट हैपेंस इज somewhere you are missing the actual point of the question. And it happened with me, it happened with Shaurya, it happened with Anuj sir. And in fact, by the time Ojha ji asked you, tab to he had to ask, मतलब give you the pointers also. तो मेरा कहने का मतलब है आपको आता है, क्योंकि आप कहती हैं, सही कहती हैं, बट यू हैव टू वेट. वो जो ये इन्होंने आप लोगों को फॉर्मूला दिया है 1 2 3 वाला, इन योर केस आई थिंक इट विल वर्क वेरी वेल. रुक के सुनो कि क्वेश्चन एग्जैक्टली पूछ क्या रहा है. दैट इज द ओनली थिंग आई थिंक आई कैन टेल यू. All other points Shaurya has explained very well, including this also, but I thought this I can repeat. Other thing I want to say is, on your personal front, for you, because your father is already a judicial officer, chances कि आपसे personal वाले questions आए ज्यादा हैं.
Yes, ma'am.
Especially where your brother also, because आपने हमें बताया है, तो I am assuming अगर वहां भी ये बात आई, तो ब्रदर वाले में जो आप कह रहे हो वही कहना है कि मैं ही अपने को सिलेक्ट करूंगी. बट क्यों करूंगी, where you work a little bit. Don't say कि
Yes,
मतलब I am hardworking or something. You say I think I am the best for this position.
yes, ma'am.
Not just in comparison with my brother, but in comparison to everybody. I have these
Yes.
qualities जो भी आप मान रही हैं कि हैं.
Yes, ma'am.
Ability to read, to be patient, to understand decision making, serve society, जो भी आप कह रही हैं कि I think मेरे में ये inbuilt बहुत strong qualities हैं, so I will be the best judge that I think of anyone I know, something like that. Only positive.
Yes,
Don't
ma'am.
say better than ये वो. I am best and I know it. But विनम्रता
Yes,
से,
ma'am.
ठीक है? क्योंकि ये क्वेश्चन आपको मुझे लगता है आ सकता है. I mean, we
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
really know how the interview will take place, but because your father is there and you said your brother is also preparing, na? So इसलिए. Other
Yes,
than
ma'am.
that, you're looking very good. I mean, your sari and everything is looking very nice. And जब आप confidently answer करते हैं, आपके ना चेहरे पे दिख जाता है, क्योंकि वो इतना
Yes, ma'am.
बढ़िया आंसर था. दो आंसर आपके बहुत बड़े थे और वो आपको भी मालूम था, क्योंकि आपकी बॉडी लैंग्वेज एकदम, मैं बोलना चाहती हूँ, प्रफुल्लित टाइप हो गई थी. एंड एनर्जी लेवल ऑल्सो, आई विल से, I agree with this कि your energy level started very well, but I ask very general questions.
Yes, ma'am.
By the time Shaurya was on his मतलब खत्म भी नहीं किया था, उसके पहले ही आपकी एनर्जी लेवल लो हो रही थी. डोंट डू दैट.
Yes, ma'am.
क्योंकि आपको आता है. आई मीन मेरिट पे हम नहीं कुछ कह रहे, बट आपको आता है. अब आप 2 दिन 4 दिन में कोई एक्स्ट्रा चीज सीखना भी नहीं है आपने, सिर्फ यही चीज ब्रश अप करनी है अपना प्रेजेंटेशन में. ऑल इज फाइन, आप अच्छा करोगे भी, इसमें कोई शक नहीं है. जस्ट टेक दीज लिटिल पिक्चर्स एंड एनर्जी लेवल. हो सकता है आप नर्वस हो, आई डोंट नो, बट लग नहीं रहे हो नर्वस, ऐसे बता रही हूँ. ठीक है, ऑल द बेस्ट, डू वेल.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
काफी कुछ रश्मि, स्वाति और शौर ने बता दिया है. एक थोड़ा
Yes,
स्माइल
sir.
पे ध्यान दे बेटा. यू स्माइल बिट मोर. आप इस रिकॉर्डिंग को फिर से देखना. स्माइल में आपकी थोड़ा सी कमी रही है. एम ऑफ लाइफ वाला सवाल थोड़ा और अच्छा होना चाहिए था. बेसिकली एम ऑफ लाइफ में बहुत ही इंडिविजुअलिस्टिक मत हो जाओ. कॉलेजियम में जो इतने आप लोग न्यूज़पेपर नहीं पढ़ते हो, मैं फिर कहूंगा, आप न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ते मिस्टेक में होते हैं. बहुत एनालिसिस हुई है, कई तरह से हुई है. आप लोग सुबह आधा घंटा के आसपास न्यूज़पेपर मिनिमम पढ़ने की आप आदत डालो. भाई और बहन वाले में आपको अपने पे भाई को क्यों दोगे आप?
Yes,
It is
sir.
not word of nepotism. He will get his place on his own merit.
Yes, sir.
By this single life, you can communicate that this girl is very committed for the merit. बोला सर मैं क्यों दूंगी? He will earn his own place. If there's one place, he should come and fight with me. He should defeat me. I will not leave the place for anyone. इसे 3-4 चीज आप कर रहे थे. एक, आप इमोशनल क्वेश्चन को कंट्रोल कर रहे थे, नेपोटिज्म को कंट्रोल कर रहे थे, आप मेरिट को इनकरेज कर रहे थे, आपको अपनी कॉन्फिडेंस था. बाय सिंगल लाइन आपने साइकोलॉजिस्ट को 4-5 पॉइंट पकड़ा दिए. इन द कम्पिटिटिव वर्ल्ड एक है ना, कहावत बोलते हैं कि बेटा और बाप साथ साथ दौड़ रहे थे, बाप हार गया, बेटा बोला नहीं ये ठीक नहीं हुआ है. बिल्कुल ठीक नहीं हुआ है, आप जानबूझ के हारे हो, मैं तुमसे फिर दौड़ूंगा, और जब तक मैं तुमको हराऊंगा नहीं, मानूंगा नहीं. एक दिन, कुछ दिन के बाद क्या हुआ कि बाप हार गया. यस इट इज राइट. आई विल नॉट. इस थीम पे कविता बहुत लोगों ने लिखी हुई है. सौरभ ने जो सवाल किया था, इस कविता को ध्यान में रख के शायद किया हो. कोई भी आदमी किसी के लिए प्लेस नहीं छोड़ेगा. कल मेरे और सौरभ में टकराहट हो, मैं नहीं छोड़ूंगा प्लेस. डिफीट मी. व्हाई शुड लीव द प्लेस? क्या ना, ये बता रहे हैं कि रश्मि एक फुल टॉस था, मिस कर दिया. इवन इफ यू आर लिविंग द प्लेस फॉर योर ब्रदर, देन आल्सो कितना भी लगाव हो, लेकिन जब बात मेरिट की आती है कोई लगाव नहीं होता है. Qualities for a good judge we are discussing.
Sir, it was a trick question, sir. She missed the trick, sir. The trick was related to your proposed career, your potential career. You recluse yourself from a judgment where conflict of interest is involved. That's what you recuse yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, trick question था.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I cannot be a good judge on this matter. मैंने कहा था कि आप किसे recommend करेंगी अपने में से और उसमें से. That was the impartiality का वही facet आना चाहिए था सर, कि it will be very difficult situation for me because conflict of interest will be involved in this situation. और किसी को आंसर के पढ़ी ही नहीं किसी को, आप वो पकड़ पाते हैं कि नहीं? आप
देखो
यू से कि आई
रश्मि,
प्रूव दैट
आपने जो
बेटर
आंसर दिया वो आंसर नहीं, जो रश्मि ने आपने दो आंसर हो सकता है। सबसे बेस्ट आंसर क्या होगा? सर ही शुड परफॉर्म हिज ओन वे, आई विल परफॉर्म माय ओन वे, लेट एग्जामिनर विल डिसाइड, आई एम नॉट कंसर्न व्हाट माय ब्रदर इज डूइंग। शायद ये बहुत अच्छा होता।
जब
इसका
क्वेश्चन
कोई
उठाने का हो रश्मि, तब जो सर बोल रहे हैं उसको ध्यान से सुनना,
Yes, sir.
क्वेश्चन का फोकस रखना, स्टैंडर्ड आंसर लेके मत जाना, गड़बड़ा देंगे।
बस
अगर
दूसरा
क्वेश्चन
कभी
इस तरह का है, व्हाट आई आस्क
कभी
इसकी आप दोनों में से किसको रेकमेंड करेंगी? नाउ यू हैव टू से समथिंग कि नहीं नहीं वो तो पीसीएस वालों पर हमें भरोसा है, वो तो अच्छे आदमी को सेलेक्ट
अगर
करेगी।
अगर आपसे रिकमेंड करने को बोले देन यू रिक्यूज योरसेल्फ, जस्ट सी द टू इशू, वन ऑन द मेरिट, वन अगर आप कहा जाए कि आपके भाई में आपको फॉर्मूला नहीं, सम्मान नहीं करूंगी, आई मे बी बायस्ड बिकॉज माय सिविल पार्टी माय ब्रदर्स पार्टी, लेट्स से यू डिसाइड, मी एंड माय ब्रदर बोथ अपीयर हियर, यू डिसाइड। बड़ा अच्छा सवाल था ये। सिलेक्शन ऐसी सवाल होता है, ये आईपीसी सीआरपीसी बताने सिलेक्शन नहीं होता है। अब अगेन रिपीटिंग, उससे कोई सिलेक्शन नहीं होता है। हम लोग आईपीसी सीआरपीसी क्यों पूछते हैं? कन्वर्सेशन को आगे, भाई कोई पॉइंट चाहिए ना, कोई बात करने का कोई आधार चाहिए ना। अनु सर जितने सवाल पूछते हैं, उन सवालों का कोई मतलब नहीं, उन सवालों के आंसर का मतलब है। आप सवाल गलत बोल, बहुत सवाल का आंसर गलत हो जाता है, कोई फर्क पड़ता, कैसे आप बताते हो। क्वालिटी ऑफ गुड से हम लोग कितना डिस्कस किए हैं, आप फिर गलती कर गए हो। क्वालिटी ऑफ गुड जज में अपनी अच्छाइयां नहीं गिराने का, आप जज क्यों बनना चाहते हो? अब यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड में आपने पढ़ाने, आप यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड पढ़िए, आप 499 पेज पढ़िए जैन पांडे का, नो डाउट, जैन पांडे 499। और सेम वे आप पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट लिटिगेशन जैन पांडे, आप लोग जैन पांडे सब ने पढ़ा है, आप लोग मिस कर जा रहे हो। आर्टिकल 25 कॉमन सिविल कोड आप तैयार हो, क्यों तैयार कर रहे हो आपने? डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस सिम सेक्स है, ठीक था आपका, ठीक बोला आपने, कोई इशू नहीं था। एक तो आप लिप्स बाइट करते हो, ध्यान
Yes,
देना,
sir.
आप उसको कंट्रोल करो। और एक आध बार आपने टंग बाहर निकाल ली, आप ध्यान देना, आप लिप्स बाइट बिल्कुल मत करो आप। आई एम नॉट
सर
श्योर।
बोलते टाइम मुंह सूख जाता है।
तो बेटा इसको आप देखो, हम लोग इसीलिए आपका लंबा 2 घंटा आप चलाए ना, हम लोग इसी चलाते हैं कि आपका एंडुरेंस बढ़े। आपका इंटरव्यू वहां 20 मिनट का होगा, ये हम लोग दो घंटे
Yes,
का
sir.
ऑलमोस्ट तक हो जाता है, कि आपका एंडुरेंस बढ़े उसमें। बाकी आप बहुत अच्छी लड़की हो, आपका ड्रेस सेंस तो स्वाति ने कह दिया, तो अपने पास कोई अथॉरिटी कहने के आगे है नहीं। स्वाति का बहुत रिस्पेक्ट है हमको इस बात को लेके। मैं सारी लड़कियों की फोटो निकाल के स्वाति को भेजता रहता हूँ कि क्या है, कैसी राय दो, तो आप अच्छी लगी रहे हो, सुंदर आप हो ही, आपके माता पिता ने अच्छा संस्कार दिया है, आप बहुत संस्कारी लड़की हो। मैं भी कहता हूँ तुम जिसकी पत्नी बनोगी वो भी बहुत सौभाग्यशाली होगा। मैंने पत्नी पे सवाल नहीं किया पति पत्नी कैसा हो, लेकिन ये भी अच्छी बात है, आप जितनी अच्छा करोगे। जो कुछ यहाँ बातें आप ध्यान रखना, आई थिंक यू विल डू दैट। टेक केयर।
सर एक क्वेश्चन पूछना था।
हाँ बोलो बोलो।
अनुज सर का पहले सुन लेते हैं feedback, और फिर आप पूछिए,
Yes,
आप याद रखिएगा क्वेश्चन।
सर रश्मि,
yes, sir.
जब आप आंसर करते हैं तो आंसर आपको पता रहता है, उसे आप कंसील कर लेते हैं। जैसे मैंने वीकेंड
Yes,
से
sir.
आप पे क्वेश्चन करा था, तो आपने, मैं बढ़ रहा था और आपको लेके, आपको उसको प्रिसाइजली आंसर करना है, वो 2 लाइन का आंसर था, आप उसे पूरी तरीके से समराइज करिए, मुझे 3 बार पूछना पड़ा उस चीज को, ठीक है। तो इतना कंसेप्चुअल क्वेश्चन नहीं था, वो फैक्चुअल क्वेश्चन था। तो फैक्चुअल क्वेश्चन जो भी आए, आपको एक बार में जो आपको पता है वो आप बात कर लें। मैंने ऑप्शन ऑफ प्यूबर्टी पे जो बात करी, उसको आप जो है क्लियरली पूरा आंसर नहीं कर रहे हैं, ठीक है। लॉजिकल रेलिवेंसी और लीगल रेलिवेंसी पे जो है कॉन्सेप्ट थोड़ा सा क्लियर करिए आप। मैं बोर्ड में
Yes,
2
sir.
घंटे था, आज बोर्ड के बाहर खड़ा था, वहां पे जो क्वेश्चन आ रहे हैं, ऐसे सिंपल सा क्वेश्चन आ रहा है, जो सर बता रहे हैं, जो लीगल क्वेश्चन है उन्हीं पे ज्यादा फोकस करना, और बाकी जो आपने ला की स्टडी करी, इतना सिंपल सा क्वेश्चन आपके सामने आने वाला है। सेक्शन 313 पे क्वेश्चन पूछा जा रहा है, अब उसमें सिर्फ
Yes, sir.
फैक्चुअल क्वेश्चन है, अब आपको उसको आंसर करना है, कितना बेहतर आप उसे रिप्रेजेंट कर पा रहे हो। सेक्शन 300 सीआरपीसी पूछा गया है क्या है, और जहां पे सर ने कई बार बताया है कि जहां पे सेक्शन एग्जामिनर नहीं चाह रहा है मेंशन करने के लिए, आप सेक्शन बोल रहे हो और गलत बोल रहे हो, तो इसे आप अवॉइड कर दीजिए। हम
एक
सेक्शन
एक तो यार अंजू मैं भूल जाऊंगा, आप रीडिंग हॉबी मत लिखो। 5 किताब पढ़ के
Yes,
आदमी की हॉबी रीडिंग नहीं होती है। इट्स रॉन्ग, डोंट राइट,
yes, sir.
डोंट से रीडिंग इज माय हॉबी। आपने कोई हिंदी की नॉवल नहीं पढ़ी, आपने कोई हिंदी स्टोरी नहीं पढ़ी है, आप हु विल क्राई ना क्या आप बताएं? बिल्कुल मत हो, आप ये डिजास्टर हो जाएगा। जी जरूर सर, यस यस।
सर, बाकी तुमने लीगल मॉरलिज्म के बारे में बहुत अच्छा बताया बेटा, जितना भी आंसर किया है बेहतर आंसर किया। वुल्फेंडान कमेटी, अभी आपके पास टाइम है, आप पढ़ लीजिएगा, ठीक है। सबसे पहली रिपोर्ट थी ये 1957 में जो आई थी, बहुत ही रेलिवेंट रिपोर्ट है ये, तो इसको आप एक बार देख लीजिएगा और बेसिक चीज पर ध्यान दे करके जाइए। बहुत बेसिक क्वेश्चंस पूछे जा रहे हैं लॉ से रिलेटेड। बाकी जो सर बता रहे हैं वो लीगल से एस्पेक्ट जो भी है वो वही क्वेश्चन पूछे जा रहे हैं। कल मैम ने जो क्वेश्चन पूछा था वुमेन से रिलेटेड, और वुमेन से रिलेटेड मैं आपसे पर्पजली आज क्वेश्चन पूछा क्योंकि जितनी भी लड़कियां जा रही थी उनसे वही रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन, चाहे वो हिंदू लॉ का हो, चाहे वो सीआरपीसी का हो, चाहे आईपीसी का हो, सब वही से क्वेश्चन पूछा जा रहा है। और करंट भी क्वेश्चन यदि रिलेट किया जा रहा है तो सर जो बता रहे हैं यही क्वेश्चन घूम रहा है पूरे बोर्ड में। चल ठीक है
अगर
बेटा, ऑल द बेस्ट।
अगर मैं सबके
Thank you, sir.
अगर मैं सबके ऑब्जर्वेशन को सबसे सिंप्लीफाइड बोलूं,
सर
आप क्वेश्चन को ध्यान से सुनो, आंसर देते समय टाइम लो, थोड़ा सा चेहरे पे एक स्माइल रखो और आंसर छोटा करो। दैट्स
Yes,
ऑल।
sir.
ये अगर एक सबसे सारगर्भित कोई, हम सब, मैंने स्वाति को सुना, मैंने शौर को सुना, अनुज को सुना, मैंने अपना भी किया। अगर मैं एक चीज बोलूं जो आपको सब ज्यादा करने की जरूरत है, दैट इज आंसर छोटा रखो, आप प्रिसाइज रखो। 25-30 मिनट का इंटरव्यू हुआ है सर, 25 मिनट ज्यादा हो रहा है, 20 मिनट इंटरव्यू हो रहा है
सर 15 मिनट मैक्सिमम, 15 से 17 मिनट अभी तक सर। 20 लड़के 25 से मिल गए, मैक्सिमम 17 मिनट सर।
नेक्स्ट नेक्स्ट कौन? हाँ बड़ा, हाँ आपका कोई सवाल था ना? हाँ बताओ रश्मि।
सर वही जो क्वेश्चन था मतलब ब्रदर वाला, उसका मतलब अप्रोप्रिएट आंसर क्या होगा? जैसे ऐसे तो इमोशनली तो मैं भाई को देना चाहती हूँ, तो
नहीं
उसके
बिल्कुल
लिए
नहीं,
क्या
नहीं,
अगर
नहीं,
ये
बिल्कुल
मैं बोल
नहीं, नहीं,
सकती हूँ?
बिल्कुल नहीं
हाँ।
देने का, बिल्कुल देने का नहीं है, किसी को नहीं देने का। देखिए
यस सर।
दो फसाड है। एक फसाड क्या है, जो सौर बोल रहे हैं क्वेश्चन में ट्रिक था कि आपको डिसीजन मेकर आपको बना दिया गया भाई में आपके बीच में, तो आपने क्या है, रिक्यूज करोगे कि आई विल नॉट टेक ए कॉल, यू टेक ए कॉल। सेकेंड, अगर आपके दोनों आदमी नहीं सर मैं नहीं छोड़ूंगी, आई आई विल फाइट फॉर माय ओन प्लेस, अगर उस पास गट्स है मुझको डिफीट करे, आई विल नॉट लीव इट।
सर ये 2-3 पॉइंट पे सर गड़बड़ हो रहा है। एक तो पब्लिक पॉलिसी के अगेंस्ट है सर ये, दूसरी चीज ये बायसनेस क्रिएट कर रहा है सर।
नहीं, इसको यार अनुज
सर
कॉमन सेंस, नहीं इसको कॉमन सेंस आंसर देने दो, इसमें आप कोई
बिल्कुल
लॉ
सर।
मत करो, इसको
सर
जस्ट कॉमन सेंस आंसर करने दो, इसमें कोई लॉ मत डालो। देखो जितना सिंपल आंसर करो, कॉमन सेंस के आंसर पे इंटरव्यू मार्क्स मिलता है, बाकी किसी को नहीं मिलता।
सर
यस
बाकी लॉ पर कुछ नहीं, कुछ फर्क नहीं लाए, बता रहा हूँ मैं आपको। यस होती है।
मैं कह रही हूँ रश्मि, अगर आप रेस में पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हो, आपको मालूम है आप रेस में पार्टिसिपेट जीतने के लिए ही कर रहे हो ना,
यस मैम।
तो आप थोड़ी ना जज करोगे कि मैं फर्स्ट आई कि मेरा भाई ने पहले क्रॉस किया। जिसने पहले क्रॉस किया
यस
वही
सर।
जीतता है।
अरे स्वाति,
यस
अपने को दौड़ते 15 साल हो गए, आज तक अपने सबसे अच्छे दोस्त को हराना अपनी पहली प्रायोरिटी होती है।
हाँ,
लास्ट का 200 मीटर चाहे जितना अच्छा है उसको हराना ही हराना है। कई बार हुआ ऐसे, अब अपना मेरा ट्रेनर मेरे साथ दौड़ा नहीं, इसको हराना ही हराना है, छोड़ना ही नहीं इसको।
और जिसने क्वेश्चन पूछा उसने तो आपको आंसर दे दिया,
हराना ही नहीं उसको,
आपने
कहाँ
बोलना
हराना?
है कि सर आप लेंगे डिसीजन, मैं नहीं ले सकती। पर अगर
यस
तुम्हारे पीछे ही पड़ जाएंगे तो तुमको कहना ही पड़ेगा ना।
यस मैम।
अगर ये सवाल लंबा चल गया तो आप सिलेक्ट हो जाओगे। अगर आप इस लाइन पे चले और सवाल थोड़ा सा डिस्कशन में आए, इसी सवाल पे आप सिलेक्ट हो जाओगे। एक दो सवाल सिलेक्शन कर देता है।
लॉजिकली फाइट करो जरा और लॉजिकली हमको हराओ जरा। If you sacrifice your seat, forget about your own thing. If you sacrifice or recommend your brother for a seat, for that single seat, and your brother is allotted that seat, who lost? That's my question. Who lost? नुकसान किसका हुआ?
सर I lost and the public will not also get justice
Your loss
because
is inconsequential because that was your choice. PCSJ lost, judiciary lost,
yes, sir.
because you prevented your brother from performing tooth and nail. That's what you did. When you throw away something, record बन पाएगा? अगर second number वाला जो दौड़ता है, वो second number वाला पहले वाले को एकदम रगड़ नहीं डाले कि देंगे ही नहीं तुमको आगे निकलने, तो records टूटेंगे पुराने. That is what the beauty of competition is. It brings out the best in people. So by sacrificing or whatever, you are killing the spirit of competition and you are not sending the best person on that seat. ये है इसका logic. Philosophical foundation ये है इसकी.
चलो next कौन है?
Thank you, sir.
Take care. All the best.
Chalo, all the best.
चलो आकांक्षा,
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
come बेटा, come. Yes, Swati, start.
Akansha, good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
So what did you study? Matlab, what are your background for education background? What is it?
Ma'am, Ma'am, I have done my graduation LLB and LLM from Banaras Hindu University.
Okay. So tell me, what do you think is judiciary important? Give me some reasons for the judiciary. Why should we have judiciary?
Ma'am, judiciary is most important thing in a society because, ma'am, it provides justice, which is an important thing in modern days. With increasing number of crimes, I think, ma'am, judiciary is very important. It plays a major part in citizens' life. Yes, ma'am.
You think you'll be a good judge?
Yes, ma'am. I think.
Which qualities do you think will make you a good judge?
Ma'am, I have many qualities which a judge should have, like punctuality, discipline, and ma'am, unbiasedness.
What about knowledge of law?
And I have that too, knowledge of law. And there are many qualities a judge should have. Ma'am, I have some of them, and I am willing to achieve more of them.
Okay. Tell me, have you heard of Audi Alterum Partem?
Yes, ma'am, I have heard it. Ma'am, it's one of principles of natural justice, which means that all the parties should have right to be heard in a case.
So why is it so important?
Because, ma'am, without hearing both the parties, without knowing all the facts of a case, a judge cannot provide justice in a fair way, and he cannot decide the case on merits, which is very important for justice.
Okay. Tell me, what is the jurisdiction of Supreme Court?
Ma'am, Supreme Court has jurisdiction on whole of the India, but ma'am, it has original jurisdiction in some of cases.
Any other type of jurisdiction does it have except original?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, it has original jurisdiction, it has appellate jurisdiction, and ma'am, other type of jurisdiction like it can punish for its contempt. It is a court of record and advisory jurisdiction it has.
Whom does it advise?
Ma'am, to the president.
Okay. Can it advise on its own?
No, ma'am. Ma'am, president have to ask for the advice of Supreme Court under Article 143.
143.
Yes, ma'am.
Does it have any review jurisdiction?
Yes, ma'am. It also have review jurisdiction.
What is
yes, ma'am.
Tell me.
And to check whether the constitution is being followed by the subordinate judges, subordinate courts.
What is a writ petition?
And writ petition is a application filed in court for by an interested person on behalf of other interested persons who are aggrieved.
Aggrieved against what?
Against the cause of action, ma'am, or who are interested in the matter.
No, you have to explain it a little bit better than this. That what do you mean by interested party? What do you mean by it has been aggrieved? Anybody going to court is aggrieved. But what is special about writ petitions?
Ma'am, in writ petition, a person can represent all the other interested parties by order of court or by uh, ma'am, by order of court, and by it, if court accepts that, a person can represent other interested parties. For example, ma'am, if there is a case and many persons are interested in that particular case, then only one can file writ petition in the court, and court can.
Are you referring to a public interest litigation? Or a writ?
Sorry, ma'am, I got confused. I was explaining.
Doesn't matter. Take your time. Don't be nervous. Try and think if you know what a writ is.
Ma'am, a writ petition can be filed by any aggrieved person for enforcement of fundamental rights by a person whose fundamental rights have been violated.
Okay. So, do you know the writ petitions? What kind of writ petitions are there?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, there are many types of writs. For the first one is habeas corpus. It should I explain it, ma'am?
No, just tell me some names if you know them.
Ma'am, the first one is habeas corpus. The second one is mandatory, mandamus, and third is certiorari, and the fourth is prohibitory, and the quo warranto.
Okay. So, tell me one thing. Do you know when Supreme Court of India was established? When it came into being?
Yes, ma'am.
When? We
Ma'am, sorry,
recently
ma'am, I
celebrated
cannot-
Independence Day, na?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
then after independence, we became a republic in 1950. And after that, we got our Supreme Court.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, I cannot recall the exact year.
It's okay. I'm just asking you. So do you have any idea when Allahabad High Court was established?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, it was established in 1866.
Why is Allahabad High Court? Why do you think the High Court in UP is in Allahabad and Lucknow only has a bench?
Ma'am, it was initially not in Allahabad. It was established in Agra, and from there it was shifted to Allahabad in 1869.
And do you know why it was in Allahabad, Agra? Because it was the High Court of the Northwest regions. So Agra was in the center, that's why.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Tell me, okay, what are your hobbies?
Ma'am, I like to watch movies and TV shows, and apart from it, I like to write a diary.
You write a diary?
Ma'am, on daily basis, yes.
You write, since when have you been writing a diary?
Ma'am, since class 12, but ma'am, I have skipped it for some time in between, but I have started from then.
So what do you, if you were to publish your diary, what would it be called?
Allahabad Diary.
वो आपकी है, वो आपकी है.
ये लड़की इलाहाबाद की है.
हाँ, तो आकांक्षा की बताएंगी उनकी डायरी का क्या नाम है?
Ma'am, for now I could think only of my diary.
My diary, a diary of a dynamic girl, or diary of a dynamic judge.
Ma'am, it depends when does it publish.
I wanted to know because I wanted to summarize what your thoughts are. Anyway, it's okay. You best wishes to you and do well. ठीक है? ओझा जी.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sir, you said punctuality and discipline are two of many qualities that a judge required. What is the difference between the two?
The discipline means you have to be, if you are disciplined for whole life, like, sir, it should not be, like the punctuality is something you do your work on time, you reach in meetings on time. This is called punctuality. You are very punctual in your daily schedule on daily activities. But the discipline comes from within, that you are disciplined for your work, you will do it in disciplined manner.
There are three things which constitute this universe: time, space, and energy. Okay? डिसिप्लिन किस पे अप्लाई होता है और पंक्चुअलिटी किस पे अप्लाई होता है इन तीनों में?
Sir, in my opinion, discipline applies on energy and punctuality on time.
All right, all right. Okay, tell me one thing. Can a judge, while acting as a judge in the judicial capacity, can a judge cause contempt of court?
Sir, he cannot.
All right, very well. The preamble of our constitution has incorporated three species of justices, isn't it? Social, economic, political.
Politically.
Which of the three are you going to be a part of?
Sir, in my opinion, sir, I will be part of all the three.
Give example of each. An example that this is social justice, this is political justice, this is economic justice.
Yes, sir. Sir, example of political justice is that all the citizens shall have equal rights to be selected, to get elected as a part of government. They answer, they shall have equal, their vote shall be equally counted. The value of their vote shall be equal, whoever that person is. If a person is citizen, then the value of his vote shall be equal to that of any other person. And sir, this is political justice. Sir, economic justice is that the distribution of wealth should be as that the concentration of wealth doesn't take place for a particular person or for a particular class of person. And the social justice is that like untouchability should not be there, freedom should be there to everyone.
Very well, very well. Do you have any Muslim friends?
No, sir, I don't have Muslim friends. I have classmates. I have.
All right, all right. Whatever, from whatever you understand, and this debate going on about Uniform Civil Code,
Yes.
Do you really think that the Muslim community can ever be ready to give precedence to constitutional law over their personal law?
Yes, sir, I think with that time and with requirements, with needs, they shall be, they shall welcome such new laws or uniform civil code, because
But
it is
there
only
has
for.
not been even a single example, has it been? Has there been any example? In fact, they are opposing it.
Yes, sir. Sir, because they are thinking that the majority views and majority uh, culture shall be imposed
Do
upon
you agree
them.
that at least till date there is no such example?
Sir, no, sir, I don't agree, but sir, I cannot recall any example for now.
What
Sir,
about CRPC, IPC?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, sorry.
Do
Sir,
you know?
CRPC and IPC.
Yeah. What about Goa?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Goa also has uniform civil.
Okay, okay. A is a girl on the street, okay? B assaults her in a way, or tries to molest or commits a cognizable offense. A is a girl. B, a male, commits a cognizable offense on her person. C is passing by in a car. On seeing this, C captures B. and locks B in his car until police arrives.
Yes.
Is this wrongful restraint or not?
So this is not wrongful restraint because sir, he was committing a cognizable offense, and in such cases, a private person can also arrest a person and is under PRPC section 43.
A private person can also effect arrest.
Yes.
And then what is he supposed to do after arresting?
So he have to take that person to the nearest police station or the police office.
At the earliest occasion, isn't it? All right, all right. Tell me one more thing. You must have heard, since you're preparing for the judicial service of that state, UP, you must have heard incidences where the government, that is executive, is demolishing the houses of some accused.
Yes.
After certain riots and certain other law and order situations arose, the government took on to demolish their properties. Is it legal?
Yes, sir. I think it's legal
It is
because
not
the government.
thought. Matter of fact, it would be, na? Is it legal? As if yes, under which law?
I cannot recall the law.
All right, but you think this is legal? Is it legal to demolish the property of an accused even before the trial is conducted?
No, sir.
That's all right. No problem. No problem. What do you understand? What is your understanding of a successful judicial career?
Sir, in my opinion, sir, a successful judicial career would be where a person can serve the nation, can provide justice in a fair way, and sir, uh, it doesn't depend, sir, whether he is in higher judiciary, higher courts, or lower courts. I think, sir, uh, if you if you could change the lives by providing justice of even a smaller number of persons, then I would call it sir, a successful career.
Very well. How well answered. Very good. What is the difference between a review petition and a curative petition?
Sir, in curative petition, petition is filed by a person to uh, a court to check to see whether some mistakes have been done by the court.
No problem. No problem. We'll move on. We'll move on. What is you mentioned that Supreme Court is a court of record.
Yes.
So what is a court of record?
So court of record means all the orders, judgments, and directions given by Supreme Court shall be followed by subordinate court, and the record of the judgments and orders shall be protected and shall not be questioned. And also, it can punish for contempt of it.
All right. So you are using a few words. Tell me the difference between an order, a decision, and a decree.
Sir, a decree, sir, an order is a statement made by court, which is not decree under CPC, and sir, order is statement made by court, which also includes all the judgment and which decides the right and liabilities of parties.
All right. You, while replying to my question, you said that it can also punish for its contempt. Can subordinate do nothing about contempt of their court?
So
Is
only
that
High Court has been given power to punish for its contempt.
so? Subordinate courts have no powers to punish for the contempt. So anybody can attempt a contempt on the court, and the court is absolutely helpless. Is it so?
No, sir, it's not helpless, sir. It has to it has to communicate the matter to the higher court or organization to which
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. That you should stop there. It has to communicate it to the high court. Only the honorable high courts have the powers to punish for a contempt. Okay, that's too much about law. You forget about that. You tell me about what is, and be very honest, what is the most important aspect of judiciary that has actually attracted you towards this career?
Sir, the judiciary in India is an independent body free from any political pressure. So these things about judiciary attracts me the most, where the judge can decide cases according to law and order, and he need not to decide a case in favor of any person or organization or even in favor of a government. So he can operate freely without any type of compulsion, any type of political pressure as well. So this is the thing. This is one thing which inspires me and attracts me. Hello? Sir,
Yeah,
you are not audible.
there was a problem from my side. I'm saying that while explaining why judiciary has charmed you, have you not impliedly put an allegation on bureaucracy, on civil services, on legislature and executive that they are working under political pressure and they are influenced, their decisions are influenced?
Sir, I'm not putting any allegations. I'm just saying, sir, that judiciary is independent. It needs not to work for anyone or in favor of anyone.
So that is the main thing that has attracted you, because you do not consider yourself strong enough to withhold and to bear political pressure. That is why you choose a safe career. Is it so?
No, sir. Sir, I am strong enough. I can bear the pressure. But, sir, I am saying while deciding, you don't have to, for sure, you don't have to uh, decide the case in favor of anyone. You can work freely.
All right, that's all right. And that will be all from my side. We will get back again in the feedback.
Anuj,
Sir. Akanksha,
Yes, sir.
and what is the provision in our constitution which makes the judiciary independent?
Sir, Section 50, which talks about the separation of judiciary from executive.
Section 50.
Article 50. Sorry.
Okay. And
And so there are many other provisions, like salaries of judges cannot be altered after their appointment, like collegium system says appointment of judges, and sir, uh, it can punish for contempt of the court, and sir, so there are many other provisions. I cannot recall that.
okay. So what is the general diary?
General diary. Okay. Sir, it is a diary in police station where all the records of cases which comes in that police station are recorded.
And what is case diary?
So case diary is specifically for that particular case, which it is for one case.
What is the evidentiary value of this case diary? Whether this can be accepted as a evidence by a court?
No, sir.
So what is the meaning of the case diary? Why investigating officer has to maintain this?
Sir, when a police officer is making any statement in court of law, then he can refer to that diary for memorizing the facts for the circumstances of the
So,
case.
what is the refreshment of the document?
The refreshment of the document means that when a witness is called in the court of law, then he can take a look on the document which uh, which includes the statement made by him during investigation process or in an earlier proceeding for the refreshment of his memory.
Okay. Investigating officers who has recorded the any statement of any witness, and what is the evidentiary value of this statement which is recorded by the investigating officers during the investigation?
So this is not accepted as evidence in court of law, but sir, it can be used for contradiction and corroboration of evidence given by a witness.
It can be also used under the section 27 of the Indian Evidence Act. Can be used or not?
Yes, sir, it can be used.
Who is a compelled witness?
Sir, who is pressurized to give evidence in favor of a party,
In a favor of
any particular party?
any particular party.
Yes.
Okay. And what is a privileged communication?
The privileged communication are those communications which are prohibited or protected from disclosure in a court of law.
Whether it is a different from the professional communication or is a part of the privileged communication.
Sir, both are the parts of privileged communication.
Both are part of means
Means, sir, for example, a husband-wife shall not be compelled to disclose any communication which is made between them, except for there are certain exceptions, sir. And professional communication, in professional communication also, the court cannot compel any person to disclose any communication made to him in professional capacity.
suppose I want
For,
to disclose the things.
Yes.
Being a husband, I want to disclose anything, whether the court can accept.
Sir, court cannot accept it, except that there are three exceptions. If there is civil suit between the husband and wife, and if there is criminal proceeding against between and wife, and if the wife consents, then husband can disclose that communication.
Okay. Recently, the Supreme Court has issued the handbook. Do you know the name of the handbook which is released by the Supreme Court?
So I cannot recall the name of it.
Handbook on the combating gender stereotype.
Sorry.
Okay. So your area of interest, कौन सा
Sir,
law है?
Indian Evidence Act.
Evidence Act, except Indian Evidence Act.
IPCC.
IPC. Do you have heard about the eclipse of Menseria?
No, sir.
And this doctrine you have already studied, I think, in a constitution. Doctrine of
Doctrine of
eclipse.
Yes.
What is this?
Sir, under Article 13, the state shall not make any law which infringes fundamental rights. But sir, under doctrine of eclipse, the laws which were made before the Constitution and which infringes fundamental rights shall not be shall not operate. But sir, under doctrine of eclipse, those laws are not null and void. They only become inoperative for a particular time. Uh, for a particular time on a person on whose fundamental right is being violated. For example, sir, if a fundamental right of a citizen is being violated by that particular law.
Okay. It is said that the Indian Evidence Act does not define the evidence properly. Do you agree with this?
Sir, it has been defined, but sir, yes, sir, it has not been defined properly as it is the definition is not exclusive.
What is the definition of evidence under the Indian Evidence Act?
Sir, evidence is defined under Section 3 as statements made by a witness in a court of law which the court allows and documents along with electronic records which are produced in a court for inspection of the court.
So it is a definition or a kinds of evidence?
So basically, these are kinds of evidences given under Indian Evidence Act.
And what is the other kinds?
What is it?
The statement which is recorded by the magistrate under the section 164 of the CRPC is covered by the Evidence Act under the this kind.
Sorry, sir, I cannot hear you properly. Can you repeat?
Any statement or a confession which is recorded by the magistrate during the investigation, and this confession or a statement which is recorded by the magistrate can be considered as a evidence
Yes, sir, it can be.
under the section 3 of Indian Evidence Act.
Sir, it shall come under documentary evidence under Section 3.
What says section 3, documentary evidence?
Sir, documents, sir, it defines documents. It says that anything written on written by words or letters on.
Are you talking about the document or a documentary evidence? Both are different terms.
Sir, I'm talking about documents.
Sorry?
Sir, I am talking about document. Documentary evidence has not been defined. It is included in evidence, but still not defined in that.
Okay. Suppose I have just forfeit any gun from the accused, whether it is a evidence or not.
Yes, sir, it is evidence.
From where we considered this is as evidence under the Indian Evidence Act.
Sir, it shall be included in physical evidence. Sir, I cannot recall the section under which.
Is there any provision regarding the physical evidence in Indian Evidence Act?
No, sir. Sir, it comes under documentary evidence. All types of physical evidence has not been mentioned, like physical evidence.
So how we can accept this if this is not a evidence?
Because sir, it shall be relevant and it shall be considered as an
Where it is
evidence.
irrelevant? Under which sections of the Indian Evidence Act it is irrelevant?
Sir, it shall be relevant under Section 8 as preparation for crime.
What is the preparation?
The preparation is after arranging on the sir, arrangement of means and measures for committing a crime is preparation.
There are three terms used in Indian Evidence Act: proved, disproved, and not proved.
Yes.
What is not proved?
Sir, when it is not neither proved nor disproved, then it shall be considered as not proved.
When it is said that any fact is proved.
Sir, when a fact is said to be proved, when after inspecting all the things produced before a court considered its existence possible, or
Please repeat your answer. Please repeat your answer.
Sir, after inspecting all the things produced before a court of law, when court considered for its existence, or court considered its existence so probable that a man of ordinary prudence shall act on the presumption that it exists.
Who is a prudent man?
Sir, an ordinary man.
Anybody?
Sound mind. Yes, sir.
Considered as a prudent person?
Sir, yes, sir. If an ordinary person shall be considered as a prudent person who is kept under the same circumstances as the fact of the case, and he who is yes.
Why the section 11 of the Indian Evidence Act considered as a residuary section?
Because sir, it comes into force when certain fact is so sorry sir, I cannot recall the perfect time.
What is a plea of alibi?
Yes, sir. So plea of alibi is suppose that the person is absent from a place of crime, then he can make a plea of alibi that he was somewhere else while commission of crime took place under section 11.
Who has to prove?
So that particular person has to prove that.
And who is taking the defense of the plea of alibi?
So that particular person who is taking the defense of so firstly, the person who is saying that he has committed crime, then he should prove the case and prosecution against him. And after the case is proved beyond reasonable doubt, perfectly, like each element of the crime has been proved, then the person who is
Section 7.
taking.
Okay. Section 7 of the Indian Evidence Act mentioned two words:
Yes.
occasion and opportunity. What is the difference between occasion and opportunity?
So opportunity is something that triggered the person to commit the crime. Like he wanted to commit the crime, but he was not getting perfect circumstances under which he can commit. For example, if a person wanted to kill a girl, and then he cannot get a perfect time, but sir, when the girl is alone in the house, then it shall be considered as the opportunity under section 7. And sir, occasion is when a person is having means of committing a crime, and the suddenly such circumstances took place in which he can conveniently commit the crime. Sorry, sir, I'm unable to recall.
Okay. Common intention.
Yes,
This term is used in a Indian Evidence Act.
yes,
In which section?
section 10.
What says?
Section 30.
Section
30.
30 or 13? 1-3.
Sorry, sir. So section 10 of Indian Evidence Act talks about the term, includes the term common intention.
Okay. Res ipsa loquitur. Under which section of the Indian Evidence Act?
Section 6.
Section 6. Part of same transaction.
Yes, sir, section 6.
Please define it. What is a part of same transaction? In a very precise way.
Sir, a fact is relevant when it forms the part of same transaction or same series of transactions in a court of law.
Give me any illustration.
So, for example, if A is prosecuted for murder of B, then the communication made between A and B just before the death of B and communication made between bystanders are relevant as it forms the part of same transaction.
So, have you completed your LLM from the Banaras Hindu University, or you are pursuing your LLM master?
Sir, I have completed last year.
Completed. Okay. So, the term Hindu, which is used in a Banaras Hindu University,
Yes, sir.
does not violate the soul of the secularism.
No, sir, it does not violate the soul of the secularism. Because sir, though its name is Banaras Hindu University, but yet sir, all students from all the religions are studying there, and there is no such law that only Hindus are allowed
So I
to
think
get.
this term Hindu should be changed.
Sir, it was made at that time. The word Hindu was included at that time, and sir, I don't think it should be changed because it does not violate any law, neither it uh, exclude student from any particular religion.
महामना की एक किताब का नाम बताइए, कोई एक बुक का नाम.
Sir, I cannot recall it. I have.
महामना आपके यहाँ के डीन कब थे?
Sir, he was the. Sir, he was the. I cannot recall the year.
बनारस हिंदू यूनिवर्सिटी सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी कब डिक्लेयर की गई?
Sir, 1916.
1960.
16. 16.
16.
Yes, sir.
इसके पहले इसका क्या नाम था?
Sir, I cannot recall it.
डिसीजन और जजमेंट में क्या अंतर है?
So judgment includes everything, like reasoning behind the judgment, and answer opinions of all the judges, like dissenting opinion also it includes. And the decision is for that particular case. The outcome of that particular case is decision. The outcome of the issue.
सेंटेंस और पनिशमेंट में क्या फर्क है?
Sir, I cannot recall it, sir.
चलो, okay, thank you बेटा. Thank you sir.
Akansha,
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
yeah, I saw your biodata. When your father died, beta?
Sir, in 2015.
2015.
15, sir.
Yes,
sir.
What happened to him?
Sir, he was died, sir, blood cancer.
Huh?
Sir, cancer.
Oh, good cancer. Your mom is doing something?
No, sir, she is housemaker, sir.
Okay. What is source of income of the family?
Sir, after 2 or 3 years of my father's death, sir, my brother got the job.
In place of the father?
Yes.
Where father was working?
Sir, in police department, he was a constable.
Okay. The brother is also constable there?
Yes.
Your hobby is the diary writing.
Yes, sir.
How you started this?
Sir, actually, sir, I have done my schooling from Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, Fatehpur. So, sir, I was living in hostel. So, at that time, I wanted to share my thoughts, share my feelings, and everything with the diary. So, sir, I started at that time, and I liked it. So, sir, I continued it.
डायरी में क्या लिखते हो आप? कुछ आप बताओगे मेरे को?
Yes, sir. Sir, about my day, about the things I observe, and sir, things I have to do. These are normal things.
आज की डायरी में क्या था? बताओ.
Sir, I have not written it yet. I will write it in.
कल की डायरी में?
Sir, only certain things, sir, like I'm preparing. I hope I am doing the work enough for my selection, and I have studied this. And
you write more facts or the emotions in the diary?
Sir, emotions.
Less fact, more emotions.
Yes.
Give any 2-3 emotional line you have written in the diary in last 1 week, 10 days, 15 days.
So mostly I write certain personal things, sir, but I have, sir, I can recall for now is how often does it happen that a particular person reminds you of someone to whom you have lost forever? So this
You
is,
miss a lot of your father.
yes, sir, I do.
You write this in the diary.
Sir, I don't write it that I'm missing him. Earlier, I used to write it, sir, more often.
How much contribution your mom has in your life?
Sir, she does have, sir, much contribution as she is the source of my uh, motivation and my energy, sir. Sir, I don't live in the house. I actually, sir, visit there. I am a hosteler. Sir, so whenever I go, she motivates me a lot. She encourages me to do more hard work. And sir, in this way, she has very big
You are in the
contribution in my life.
you are in the BHU.
No, sir, sir, I have, sir, I'm living right now in Prayagraj.
Prayagraj. Where you are residing Prayagraj? Which place?
Sir, Bank Road, near the University of Allahabad.
Article 352, 356, 360. In these three articles of the Constitution, you tell only the 2 lines for each. I want to see how I'm also disclosing my mind. I want to see how you are reading the articles.
Sir, Article 352 talks about the national emergency. Whenever a state machinery fails to
you remember my limitation given to you only 2 lines.
Yes.
And you try to have the most catching part in those 2 lines.
Article 352 deals with national emergency, whereby a president can impose national emergency in any part of country where the state machinery has failed to oblige by duties given by the Constitution. Sir, in Article 356, sir, in Article 360,
yeah.
sir, financial emergency is there. On the basis of financial condition, it is to be imposed, and sir, it has not been imposed till now.
I am refining your answer. You tell me you prefer my answer, you answer. 352 is on when there is danger to the nation. 356 when there is a failure of constitutional machinery in a state. 360 when there is financial crisis in the country. You want to choose your answer or my answer?
So your answer, sorry, sir, I missed the ground to mention.
The part 9 of the Constitution, which is with respect to panchayat municipalities, is it applicable to whole country?
No, sir.
Where it is not applicable?
Sir, I cannot recall it.
Huh?
Sir, I'm unable to recall it.
Very nice. Very good. I like this answer because this question is very tough. Can you distinguish between a special majority and simple majority with respect to the amendment of the Constitution? Listen question carefully. Can you distinguish between a special majority and simple majority in Article 368, meaning thereby amendment of the Constitution?
Yes, sir. Sir, special majority is
and simple majority.
So special majority is combination of majority of total member of the house plus major 2/3 of the members present and voting in the house. And the simple majority is simple majority of
I'm again repeating the question. I'm not asking that what is meaning by simple majority or a special majority. I'm asking when the simple majority or special majority is being used in this Constitution with respect to Article 368. You got my question? I know you understood the special majority, simple majority. You are a law student. You qualified the list, so I have no doubt on that. I'm asking the different issue. when Article 360 is being applied, when there is a simple majority and when is there, on which provision, on which amendment there is simple majority, on which is the special majority.
Sir, I cannot recall the answer. I have read it.
Dietary principles is more important or fundamental right?
Sir, both are equally important.
Tell me one. You have to choose one. I know they both are the two wheels of the chariot. I know these things. They both need to go together. I know, but I want to. I don't understand your priority in life.
Sir, fundamental rights are more important.
Why?
Because sir, they deal with the
आवाज आ रही है?
Yes. Yes. The fundamental rights are more important because sir, they deal with a person's basic human rights, like right to liberty, right to life, right to privacy. That is why sir, I would prefer fundamental rights are more important. Because and also sir, because DPSCs are not enforceable as per sir.
I'm again refining your answer. If I say dietary principles are more important than the fundamental right because fundamental right protect the individual liberty and dietary principles are the social change of the life. The social change of the life is more important or individual liberty. Do you want to change your answer?
No sir.
You want to stick on the individual liberty is more important than the social change or social responsibility of the life.
Because sir, it is not only so it does not talk only about one individual. It provides the rights to everybody, sir.
No, it's
That's
individual
why
right. Only the person whose right is being infringed who can go to the court. Others he cannot go. Let me take one more step further of this issue. Do you know 39B and C of the Constitution?
yes, sir.
What is this?
Certain guidelines which have state has to follow.
39B and C is for the avoid the concentration of the wealth and use the material resources for the common good.
Yes.
In the case of Bharti case, it is being said that if there is a conflict between fundamental right and dietary principles, then 39BC will prevail over the fundamental right, and it will not be declared void because it is infringing Article 14 and 19 of the Constitution. What you are saying, against your saying, the Supreme Court is expressing its opinion. Now, want to change your answer?
Sir, for in my justification, sir, I'm not talking about all of the fundamental rights because sir, there are certain fundamental rights which should be given preference over all other rights and over all other DPSCs. For example, sir, Article 21. But sir, talking about all the fundamental rights and all the DPSCs, sir, now, yes, sir, DPSCs may be more important.
Last question, Akansha.
Yes.
Which type of boy you want to marry?
Sir, a boy who have understanding with whom I could have mutual understanding, who is mature, and sir, these are two sir, main qualities I would.
One quality, if I ask, only one quality you can think.
So one quality.
Yeah. Suppose a
mutual
person has,
understanding.
there's three boys has proposed you.
Yes.
You like all those three boys, you have to choose one. It's a simple issue that nowadays boys are proposing to the girl. Propose. Which quality will take a precedence? You are going to take a choice between these three. It is not a love affair. It's just a simple way The three proposals came to you. It may came via your mom also. If they came to your family, your mother has given you these three boys, you choose it.
So I would see for the quality of how supportive he is and how understanding he is.
How supportive, how understanding. Looks.
So looks are sir important, but sir, my preference would be first supportiveness and understanding nature and maturity. After that, so we looks a little more.
Money?
A little.
Money.
No, sir, money. No, sir, not that important.
Social status.
No, sir.
Your answer is the best one, which will be in the last. You are a very good girl. I'm looking for you. You may make your mark. Yes, sure. Start the analysis.
Yes, sir. देखो बेटा पहले ओवरऑल चीजें जो है ओवरव्यू आपका है कि आई एम वेरी वेरी कंटेंटेड with your overall performance. I am very much contented. Okay, I am sure my respected seniors and colleagues, they will also share the same feeling. If you talk about what is the impression of a personality, that impression is honesty. That is your impression. You are a very honest person, and that is the impression you have given to us. So that's wonderful. Plus, along with honesty, we also perceive that you are a very hardworking person. All that you have acquired in your life is through hard work, not because of somebody's mercy. So these two things leave very positive impression on us. If there are any suggestions, they are very minor, which you can very well incorporate in your demeanor. Number one, that you are unwarrantedly nervous. You should not be nervous at all. There, people are sitting to select you, not to reject you. Understand it like this, okay? Panel jo hai, they want some good candidates, honest candidates, hardworking, trainable people with good morality, good vision for the country and society, which all of these attributes I believe that you have in varying proportions. You have it, a good blend of them. So I do not think you have any reason to get unnecessarily nervous. Okay, number one, there's no need for you to get nervous because you are committing mistakes unnecessarily. For instance, the very first question you missed out. You started answering PIL instead of writ petition. Then you had to change section 10, section 30, section 10, like that. Huh? These are all products of unnecessary stress and nervousness. You do not do that to yourself. You do not require it. I mean, there is no case for nervousness because you are well read. आपने अपने तरफ से जितना हो सकता है उतनी मेहनत की है. एक कैंडिडेट से बहुत ज्यादा इससे एक्सेप्शनल होना चाहिए, लेकिन इट इज ओके, इट इज ओके. सो आपको मैं कंटेंट में कहीं बहुत ज्यादा सिर मारने के लिए नहीं कहूंगा. रिफ्रेश कर लीजिएगा, सर लोग बताएंगे आगे. तो रिफ्रेश होना ही चाहिए, रिफ्रेश तो करते ही रहना चाहिए कॉन्सेप्ट को. मैं आपको कॉन्सेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी में ठीक मानता हूं मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम. आपकी स्टडी को गुड मानता हूं, एडिक्वेट है आपकी स्टडी, इस लेवल तक आने के लिए अच्छी है. आपका डिमीनर भी ठीक ही है. आप कई जगह पर वही अननेसेसरली स्ट्रेस और नर्वस लगे, उस पर आपको काम करने जरूरत नहीं. आराम से एज यू टॉक टू योर एल्डरली पीपल with all the respect and humility and open mind, अगर आप जाएंगे तो it will be wonderful. और मुझे ऐसा भी लगा कि और वो हो भी जाएगा. आधा एक घंटा डेढ़ घंटा चलेगा तो अब धीरे धीरे एनर्जी लूज हो जाती है, कोई बात नहीं. वहां पे आप एनर्जी मेंटेन रखिएगा. सभी के लिए सलाह है, हालांकि कोई सुनता तो है नहीं, जिसका मौक होता है वही सुनता है. बाकी लोग तो ज्वाइन ही नहीं करते हैं because they think they can use their time in a better manner than listening to our advices. But ठीक है, we are duty bound to serve them, so we are doing. Otherwise, I'm highly dissatisfied about this attitude of all the candidates. But for you, my advice is that at least get a good sound sleep for 2 nights, at least 2 nights before the interview. You do that. Possibly 3 nights. You should have good 8-hour sleep, deep sleep. Then you also remain hydrated. ORS वगैरह भी पीना पड़े तो पीजिए. किसी तरह का कोई और स्ट्रेस बॉडी पे मेंटली या फिजिकली नहीं होना चाहिए, उसका ध्यान रखिएगा. बाहर का खाना मत खाइएगा जब तक वो हो ना जाए इंटरव्यू. पता चला तबीयत खराब हो गई, so you don't do that. एक चीज पे अब कुछ मेरिट्स पे पॉइंट हैं जिन पे आपका जो वो है आंसर्स पे मुझे कुछ जो ऑब्जेक्शंस हैं या जो सजेशंस हैं वो है कि when ma'am was talking to you, then ma'am asked कि is judiciary important? Then your answer was judiciary. Yes, ma'am, judiciary is most important. That most is not an appropriate adjective there. It is actually uncalled for.
Is judiciary important in your opinion? Yes, ma'am. I believe that judiciary is very important. That's what you do. Okay. No bias towards judiciary or legislature or executive or any particular organ of the society. They are very important. Okay. There is no quantification possible. Then I would also advise you to practice whenever you say Supreme Court President, honorable is a must. Even if the panelist is not using that prefix, you must use that. Honorable Supreme Court, Honorable High Court, Honorable Courts, Honorable President, that's a must. You replay and you will realize that it is necessary. When I asked you a very, say, pointing question, only to test your demeanor, that when you say that judiciary is a safe career, in fact, a safe career, because there is no political pressure and this and that, then I posed a counter question also. Are you not putting an allegation on executive and legislature that they are working under political pressure? At that time, your facial expression got like this, कि अरे गलत क्यों समझ रहे हैं आप? मैंने ऐसा कब कहा? That was your facial expression. But you have to be calm and cool and understand that this is a trick question. This is, you understand it, and ये मत्था आपका सिकुड़ गया था. I was very keen to observe you. You replay it and you will find out. There is no need to be. Maintain your composure as you are. Your composure is exceptional, actually, I will say. You have maintained a very good composure throughout your interview. That's a wonderful thing to do. I think this was the only occasion where I could catch you. So I don't think you need to work more upon it, but just be what you are. As जो आपका composer है, बहुत अच्छा composer. I'm very glad. That is one. Okay. Then your answers about, say, you were saying, yes, your answers about certain questions, I would like to tell you very briefly, not much to say. Punctuality, discipline में ठीक बोला आपने. That is okay. उसमें बाल की खाल लिखाने का कोई point नहीं, कोई philosophical debate तो हो नहीं रहा. So it is okay. You read about them. अगर आप ये words use करने वाली हैं. In fact, I should say like this. The 3 qualities or 4 qualities whichever you have shortlisted that they are necessary for being a good judge, उन qualities के बारे में पढ़ लीजिए कि what are they exactly. Okay. Then वो आंसर आपने बहुत बढ़िया दिया, मैं कहता हूं, जो आपने this was अगर हाँ right, private person's right duties to arrest. Wonderful. I'm very glad that you to the point, crux of the matter. Very good. आपको यूपी वाले demolition वाले इशू पर पढ़ लेना चाहिए. That is my advice. You must read, because that has been a major issue. Government had to file an affidavit before the honorable courts. Okay, so demolition was not on the pretext of the person being accused in riots or something. Demolition ultimately was because of illegal construction only. You should go through that. Okay, that was a trick thing. And successful judicial career का आपने बहुत अच्छा आंसर दिया. That I believe, और उसको छोटा concise कर लीजिए बस. Yeah, just make it concise. That even if I am able to touch upon a life of a person positively, or single person positively, and reinstate his faith in the constitutional spirit of justice, I'll consider that the career has been successful. That would have been wonderful. And review और curative petition भाई पढ़ना पड़ेगा. हाँ बेटा, आप कंफ्यूज हो गए थोड़ा सा, पर उसको अच्छे से पढ़ लीजिए. बहुत टॉक ऑफ द टाउन रहता है. कोर्ट ऑफ रिकॉर्ड, यू आर गुड. कैन सबऑर्डिनेट कोर्ट पनिश, बहुत अच्छा, आपने उसका भी आंसर अच्छा दिया. So not much to say. My only point is, do not consider yourself any less than anybody else. अगर कोई जरा भी inferiority complex है बेटा, तो बहुत objectively, or not to pep you up, honestly, I am telling you, you are a very good candidate. And if candidates like you are not selected, it is not just your loss. It is the loss of the system also. So उस perspective में आप देखिए, अपने आप पे confidence रखिए, अपनी मेहनत पर, अपने माता पिता के बलिदान पर विश्वास रखिए, ईश्वर के ऊपर विश्वास रखिए, और आप बहुत अच्छा करेंगे. Just be yourself. Don't worry. Don't give in to nervousness. Be yourself. That's my advice.
Akansha, your biodata is extraordinary. Hello. मेरी आवाज आ रही बेटा?
Yes, sir, aa rahi hai.
हाँ, Akansha, your biodata is extraordinary. I love to read it again and again. Your biodata says the metal and content which you have. Only you are the first candidate here who has a genuine hobby. Because the person who writes diary, he doesn't write facts, he only writes emotions. this answer may take you towards success. As Shaurya said, I am totally in agreement with him, that if you are not selected, it's a loss of the system, not yours. And we are very fortunate to got a candidate like you to train and mentor. I have no doubt about your selection. You were selected 100%. 100%. There's no doubt about it. 2-3 suggestions I will give. Your question of fundamental right and directive principles, answer was not very good. Second, one should not be stubborn if thinking that his answer is not correct. His or her answer is not correct. You are convinced that your answer is not correct. Your face was saying that, yes, I should have said the directive principles, not the fundamental right. Your face was saying that. There is no issue not to accept it. And when interviewer wanted to convince you, then try to understand what he wanted. And it has been written a number of times by so many Supreme Court judgment that the foundation stone is the directive principle. And if you remember the speech of the Dr. Ambedkar, he said, no government can afford not to follow the directive principles. Otherwise, he will be voted out of power. If you read, you must have read this. Second, when I was trying to explain to 39B and C, then you can understand what I wanted to say more. You may have, what your answer may be, because sir, I have not seen this also from this angle, yes, but I thought it may be more important. You can say this. ये reality भी है, आपने इस angle से नहीं सोचा था. You're not thought from this angle. जो सवाल था, कहते हैं कहाँ पर पार्ट 9 नहीं अप्लाई करता, वो आपका आंसर एकदम अच्छा था, वो याद करना बहुत मुश्किल है. It is only it is a quiz question. These questions don't decide your fate. Only because I wanted to take your interview a bit longer. I wanted to say how you can say sorry, where you can say I am now not knowing. Only for those reasons I asked the question. I was not looking for answer. I'm not looking for answer. No one was looking for answer such type of the question. In the whole panel, neither Shaur nor Anuj nor Swati, no one can answer. I was able to answer because I framed this question. Therefore, don't worry these questions. Second, how to say I'm sorry, just try to practice a bit. You was nervous, that is a demerit in you. One of the reasons that you was in the chat for more than 3 hours, because we started at 5 o'clock. Your seeing your biodata, I purposely put you on the second stage. Let you take on the first. I want to take you first, then I put on the second stage. BHU के बारे में आपकी जानकारी कम है, आप थोड़ा BHU के बारे में आप थोड़ा और पढ़ें. You need to know. I was disappointed for not giving my answer on the judicial review and petition. Left. वो आपको जानना चाहिए. लॉ का स्टूडेंट उसको नहीं जानता है, ये थोड़ा से एक्सेप्टेबल नहीं है. कोलिजन सिस्टम आप देखिए, जो शॉर्ट ने बोला कि जज, देखिए why you want to become judge? Answer need not to be individualistic. Answer must be concerning the society. You should not be very idealistic, which looks impractical. But the ideal issues with the candidate of 96, 97, 98 born should be there. अगर आप आज आइडियलिस्टिक नहीं होगे तो आज से 20 साल बाद कैसे होगे? अभी आपका ब्लड नया है, आपने राइट आपने जीवन में संघर्षों को देखा है, अर्ली एज में अपने फादर को खोया है, आपने इकोनॉमिक प्रॉब्लम्स देखी हैं, तो आप में आइडियलिज्म नहीं आएगा, किस में आएगा? बट आई डोंट थिंक देयर इज एनी इशू. आप जिस तरह से हो उसी तरह से जाओ, आप में कोई बड़ा चेंज की जरूरत नहीं है. थोड़ा स्माइल आप और ध्यान दो, स्माइल आपकी थोड़ा कम रहती है. सवाल को बेटा थोड़ा ठीक से सुनो, because the question you not got the question of the simple majority and the special majority. If Article 368 is being used, is a common sense. He's not asking you what is the difference simple or special. He wanted to know where there is simple majority, where is the special majority. बाकी बड़ा सब अच्छा है, आप सिलेक्ट होगे, इसमें कोई राय नहीं है, आप पक्का सिलेक्ट होगे. कोई सवाल है आपका?
No, sir. I just need to revise.
आप खुश रहो, जो शौर्य ने राय दी अच्छी है. आप पढ़ाई लिखाओ, कुछ मत करो, आप न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ो, अपना जो पढ़ो आप सो ठीक से एंजॉय करो, मम्मी से बात करो, दोस्तों से बात करो, आप एंजॉय करो, आप इसी पर्सनालिटी पे जाओ, आपका काम हो जाएगा.
सर की एक बात ध्यान रखना, आकांक्षा, बोर्ड में जाते समय कुछ रिफ्रेश जूस लेके जाना। जैसे बोर्ड आज 12 बजे से शुरू हुआ था, तो आपको अंदर कर लिया जाता है, फिर अंदर आपको कुछ मिलेगा नहीं, ठीक है? तो आप अपने साथ ऐसे कोई लिक्विड रखिएगा जिससे आप अपने आप को एनर्जाइज करें। बाकी सब ठीक है, ऑल द बेस्ट।
आकांक्षा, कल भी मैंने कहा था कि बेटा पानी और वॉशरूम दो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट होते हैं बोर्ड के। उसका रीजन क्या है, ये माइंड में प्ले करते हैं। अगर आपको लग जाए कि मैंने पानी नहीं पिया है, तो चाहे आपको प्यास न लगी तो भी दिक्कत है। अगर लग जाए मुझे वॉशरूम यूज कर लेना चाहिए था, नहीं तो बहुत दिक्कत आएगी। ये सब क्या है, ये बड़े साइकोलॉजिकल फैक्टर है। तो उसका मेरा आंसर क्या है, इन दोनों को कोशिश करो कि आप बोर्ड जाने में दोनों का इस्तेमाल करो। आप थोड़ा पानी पी लो, वॉशरूम यूज कर लो। इन दोनों से क्या होता है, दिमाग स्थिर हो जाता है। दिमाग की स्थिरता इंटरव्यू में सबसे ज्यादा काम आती है, सब ज्यादा काम आती है। तो दिमाग की स्थिरता क्या है कि जो चीजें आपको परेशान करती हैं उस पर आप ध्यान दो। बाकी अपनी माँ का आप याद करना, अपने पिताजी को याद करना, ईश्वर को याद करना, इंटरव्यू जाना। और आप इंटरव्यू बिल्कुल नर्वस न होके आप देखिए, कोई सवाल का उत्तर देने से कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है। आई कीप रिपीटिंग इट। आप किस तरह से आंसर देते हो, कैसे हैंडल करते हो, आई थिंक इट्स इनफ। और कोई अगर सवाल होता बताओ, नहीं तो बेटा आप
Akanksha, beta, I apologize that I could not register. When is your interview?
28th August.
Sir, we can repeat her. Sir, we can repeat her.
Exactly, sir. जी सर आप पकड़ लिए सर। हम उसी प्रयोजन से कह रहे थे बेटा, अगर आपको लगे और जरा भी लगे कि एक मॉक देकर आपको और फायदा हो सकता है, तो वी आर एट योर सर्विस, डू नॉट वरी। एक देना है, दो देना है, तुम बोलना, हम लोग रहेंगे तुम्हारे साथ, चिंता मत करना, ठीक है?
Akansha, we are very disappointed with the aspirants because we are the working person. We devote 3-4 hours to prepare your questions, 3-4 hours to interview. And as aspirant, you are not listening the interview of everyone. Ideally, all 20-25 candidates who are registered here need to listen every interview of everyone. And you will get some point, you get some point in everyone's interview. So what Saur has said, it also came in my mind कि it is 20 years enough time. आप एक दिन देख लो, अगर आपको लगता है कि you want to improve it, we can repeat it. I have no issue. We want your selection. आप सोच के आप कहते हैं मुझको लिख देना, सौर को लिख देना, चैट कहीं पे आप लिख देना।
एक होमवर्क कर लीजिए बेटा, आप एक होमवर्क कर लीजिए, मेरा सजेशन है आपके लिए।
सौर ज्यादा
क्वेश्चन
छिरा है क्या है, सौर ज्यादा छिरा है क्या, ये अपना ये जो रिकॉर्डिंग है फिर सुन लें।
जी बिल्कुल सर, वो तो करना ही है। और
इस रिकॉर्डिंग को सुन के आप एक आउटकम बनाओ अपना।
हर कैंडिडेट को बेटा क्या होता है ना, उसको एक सेंस होता है कि कहीं ये ना पूछ ले, ये ना, जो आपको लगते हो कि ये मुझे फंसा सकते हैं क्वेश्चंस, उनकी लिस्ट बना लीजिए आप। एंड इन द नेक्स्ट मॉक यू कैन ऑल्सो डिस्कस विद अस कि सर अगर ऐसा पूछ लिया तो हम क्या करेंगे, ऐसा पूछ लिया, इट विल हेल्प यू ग्रेटली। दैट्स माय पॉइंट।
ये भी आकांक्षा, ये भी अच्छी राय है। आप क्या करो, सारे टॉपिक बना के दे दो, हम उसी उसको आप तैयार कर लो। आप भी तैयार हो, हम उससे सवाल पूछते हैं। अगर आप उन टॉपिक्स पे आंसर कर ले जाओगे, आपका कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ जाएगा। इंटरव्यू है क्या, कॉन्फिडेंस की इंक्रीज कितनी हो जाए। तो आप एक टॉपिक लिस्ट बना लो, आप दे दो, हम स्वाति, शौर्य और कहते हैं अनुज, ओम प्रकाश जी देख लेते हैं, उसी पर सवाल कर देते हैं, उन्हीं पर। मतलब आपका ही आपके टॉपिक हो, सवाल आपका ना हो। लेट्स सी हाउ यू आर इंप्रूविंग। दिस आल्सो विल बी वन ऑफ द वे।
बहुत ही बढ़िया बेटा, इररेस्पेक्टिव ऑफ द रिजल्ट यू आर एक्सेप्शनल, बिलीव इन योरसेल्फ, यू आर वेरी गुड, गॉड ब्लेस यू।
और कोई सवाल है? दैट्स फाइन।
Thank you.
चलो ओके बेटा, टेक केयर, बाय।
सर प्रणाम। सर प्रणाम।